Start the game already! Start the game already!
Yes.
Start the game already! Start the game already! Start the game already!
Hey ja, hey ja, hey ja, hey ja, heiße, 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 dass ich soll, dass ich soll, dass ich soll, dass ich soll, ja, dass ich soll, dass ich soll, dass ich soll, dass ich soll. Rete, es war,
Ja, Rete,
ja, es war,
Geräte,
du wäre,
Hover, Sucher, Buvere,
Holzer,
Heise, das war,
Wocha, Auwer,
Heise, das war,
Wocha,
das ich soll, das ich soll, Beräte,
Bereite,
das ich soll,
Das war ja, Heise,
Flickmann,
das ich soll.
Beräte,
Ja,
geboren,
das war Heise, Heise, das war Heise, das Dumme.
Fischere,
Ja.
Jägere,
Ja.
Fischere, Jägere,
ja,
Das ich soll, das ich soll. Streete, sa.
Auwer,
Flickmann,
Ja,
Rete,
das war
Flickmann,
Bereite.
hey ja,
Ja,
Rete,
das war
Heise,
das Dumme.
Fischere,
Ja.
Jägere,
Ja.
Fischere, Jägere,
Das war, was ich soll. Das war,
das ich soll.
hey ja, hey ja, hey ja, hey ja, heiße, heiße, dass ich soll, 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 Rete,
Ja.
es war, ja, es war,
ja,
Beräte,
du wäre, es war, ja,
Fischere,
Ja.
Jägere,
Ja.
Fischere, Jägere,
das war, was ich soll. Das war,
das ich soll.
Ja.
Ja,
Ja.
das ist toll.
Ja,
Hey, ja,
ja,
Ja.
das ist toll.
Ja. Hey, ja.
Ja,
Ja.
das ist toll.
ja. Das ist so, das ist so, das ist so.
Hey, ja.
Ströme.
Hey, ja,
Heiße,
Hey, ja.
sa.
Reiten,
Hey, ja.
Striche. Ja,
Gebure,
das ist so, das ist so, das ist so.
Hey, ja. Hey, ja. Heiße. Heiße. Dass ich soll. 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 Dass ich soll.
Hello, guys. Welcome. Guess who is feeling better from his sickness? This guy. I'm not 100%, but I am at least like 3% better than yesterday, which is awesome. And chat's got energy too. So thank you. Welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's excited for round 3 of Platinum League. And we've got 2 big sets today. I'm realizing now I did not change over my logo. It is Platinum League. There we go. Now we're official. Perfect. What's up, Marcifer? What's up, King Kang? What's up, Koozie? Hello, Duraz. Hello, Catalyst. Hello, Nutbasher. First time message on the channel. Nutbasher, welcome into the stream. Lovely. What's up, Spinosaurus? Hello, Mr. Kirby. Hello, Lieutenant Crackers. Hello, Raz. Hello, Dazzla. PC Nerd. Tex. Good to see you guys. We are once again live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube chat. Hello, Jesus Freak. Hello, Jordy. Hello, Og Breezy. Deep Blue. Thank you, everybody. So, a couple housekeeping things before we do our ad break. We will do the ads here in a second, Twitch and YouTube. Just keep that in mind. Couple housekeeping things just to mention at the start of the day. First off, mods, if you could do me a massive favor. We have a patch command. I believe that patch command has been saying for the last 3 days, we are doing the patch on Friday. What we should now do is we should change the patch command to just say, yes, this is the updated patch. Boom, with the new civs or something. Just real simple, because there's going to be a lot of questions from chat on this. But the answer to the question is that starts today. So the new civs are in the drafts. The new water balance is implemented. It all starts here today. So a lot to look forward to as far as that's concerned, and a little bit more like speculation on what the drafts will look like with the bans and with the picks. They have 5 bans on either side. So, but for the early birds, my most dedicated, let me just ask a question. Think about it. Give me an answer, okay? So, at a high level, because everyone's like, oh God, the new civs, there's this build order, there's that build order, whatever. At a high level, do you think a pro player would be able to justify if they had 1 pick of civs? Chinese, which is always so high up on drafts, or it's banned, or one of the new civs. That's how I think about it, right? When you think about like the strength of civs, I still kind of feel like some of these new civs have some potential, but I feel as though there's still some civs that are already established in the game that are also really, really strong. So we might see a lot of them banned. Emperor says they go with what they know. Well, I also might ban what they don't know. That's the other part of it, too. The uncertainty might not be worth the risk. So we might see a lot of the DLC civs banned. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out, right? I guess we'll find out. I think Incas, the new Incas, is crazy strong for early game. Mapuche as well, very strong. I'm not too sure about Tupi and Muisca just yet. The water, I think it won't change too much. I think it will just the meta will maybe be a little bit more hulky, more hulks than fire ships. That would just be my guess on surface level. So, but yeah, certainly a lot of intrigue. Elunex, thank you for the 64 months. You are a legend. Thank you. Thank you, Plant Peak, for the new sub. Welcome in. Plant Peak says new civs are massively better than even Prime Chinese. I don't know about that, dude. I don't know about that. Might be recency bias. But I'm not in disagreement that some of the new civs can't be strong, but I think it's really easy to look at the new things, to hear a couple things, to find a new build, and then think it's immediately OP. So there's other civs too, like Mongols and like whatever civ you think is OP before the DLC. You could insert them there for the sake of examples. So, but yeah, I've spoken to a lot of players on it. Some players are really excited to try them. Other players are just like, nope, I want to ban it. So it varies, which will make it fun. I'm curious to see how many DLC civs are played today. All right, update on predictions time as we enter round number 3. We only have 2 sets today, but the next 3 days we'll have the rest of them. Your boy, bragging, I'm currently tied for 15th. That makes me feel good. I need to improve. According to my predictions, I predicted a 3-0 for Lewis and then a 2-1 for Leary for the sets today. No clue if that will actually happen, of course, but there's the update. How's my fantasy team doing? Well, I have Lewis on my fantasy team and Leary on my fantasy team, so I guess I'm biased towards them today. I am currently tied for 2nd place. Sheesh! This is all going to fall apart for me, chat. I'm bragging now because I will not want to show this in like 2 weeks, okay? It's all going to fall apart for me, I promise you. And as far as probabilities, of course, you guys can check all of this stuff yourself. You look at Platinum, we're in Group A. Right now, or no, Group A is later on today. We should be Group C, right? Right now, all is for the taking. All could happen for Lewis. For running, the survival chances being 0-6 right now come in at around 12 or 13%. So running needs to change that today. Today, if he doesn't end up getting wins, he will be in big, big trouble for survival. And he didn't look extremely sharp the first 2 rounds, and Lewis did. But Lewis only with 3 wins, so if Lewis were to get beat here today, maybe Lewis ends up being in the relegation combo as well. Obviously, you got freaking Andy against ACCM in this group. You got Nika versus Sebastian. A lot of these sets could go either way. So, YDNA says, is the bottom tier in TTL only by invitation? There is no invitation for this. 0 invitation for any aspect of the league. If you want to make Silver League, you would qualify through a big knockout bracket in Bronze. If you want to make Gold League, then you have to win in Silver League and get promoted. If you want to then make Platinum, you have to get promoted from Gold League to Platinum League. There is no invitation in any of TTL. And your results dictate where you end up. So, but yeah, it is like open sign up as well when the Bronze League rolls around, when the Bronze bracket rolls around, if you want to hop in. So, I don't know if you can hear this right now, Fast Fish. But he asked about ads, and so that makes me think maybe he's watching ads right now. There will be ads on Twitch. There will be ads on YouTube if you're not subscribed. That's just kind of how it works. Best thing I can do is I could just do the ads in between games before the games begin, and I do my best at that. So I think we have an ads command if you want to read more on it. I know it's frustrating, but you'll just miss looking at my face and not miss looking at the game, hopefully. All right? Civ Draft has begun for the first series here. That is not the draft we're looking at, by the way. That is from yesterday. 1 sec. All right. To all my subs, man, there's been so many of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a lot. Thank you, Angry Chicken. Welcome back. Even on YouTube, people have been doing it. It's been so cool. Thank you. All right, so Tuluo for running, Slopes for Lewis, and now they'll go through a series of bans to determine game number 1. Thank you, NCR, for the 3 months. Twisted Turbo, thank you for the 5 months. LNX, I think we're all caught up now, actually. Thank you, LNX. T90, are YouTube ads random or do you trigger them? Basically, I'm still new to streaming on YouTube, but it should be basically if you don't run a certain amount of ads as the streamer, it will get run for you by the platform. And with YouTube, I'm still not quite used to it, so it's also weird. It says insert ad, almost as if I'm inserting it later for the video. So I don't know, YouTube, if you want to do a test with me, I can run an ad in like 15 seconds and you tell me if you see it. But yeah, doing my absolute best with that. So it's similar. All right, so the ban, there's then 3 maps remaining. And then game 1 is selected randomly here. Running, if there is even a closed map out there, which there's not because bypassing Costa Rica was banned. I'm not really sure which one running would prefer here. I feel like Lewis is the favorite. Oh no, Zimbabwe's still out there. Northern Crossings and Quarry, all those maps are options here. It's Lewis's ban, so Lewis should probably ban one of the ones I mentioned, and then hope for Stranded game number 1. And it's Stranded game number 1, dude. So it could have been Stranded, Quarry, or Northern Crossings. Oh, no, not Northern Crossings. Zimbabwe. Stranded game number 1. So that means we get right into it, and we get a feel for the new water balance right away, guys. So really, really curious. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be Hulks. Could be Galleys still. I think Galleys are pretty decent against the Hulks, but the Fires are better against the Galleys than they once were. So the idea is to have more of a water triangle with the addition of the Hulk. I did a little bit of testing last night. It's definitely a clear difference. Fire Galleys are way tankier against Galleys now, which will take some getting used to. Dry Hollow screams with caps lock on. Are the new civs allowed in this set? Yes, but caps lock is not allowed in this set. So please look at your keyboard and click that, please. The voice inside my head is screaming. Good question. But sheesh, dude. Sheesh. All right, so prediction. We had 3 new civs introduced to the game. We had the Mapuche, the Muisca, and the Tupi. And then Incas were also changed. I think the Incas actually became stronger with the change. Do we see any of those civs make it through the bans? Yes or no? There's 10 bans in total. It'll be interesting. Maybe both players will want the other guy to ban them. I mean, none of those civs scream amazing to me on Stranded or Tuluo. I think maybe Slopes you could play Incas. I don't know. Dane says Lewis will ban them. I know that. Yeah, but it could be a disadvantage, right? If you are just banning them just because, could leave some other civs available. It's kind of tricky. I think we'll see some players ban them all, and other players will actually maybe be more prepared and have a better feel for it and let them run through. So real quick, I guess before they start with the civs, yeah, they haven't started yet. So the plan I've been saying, the plan that we've had in the handbook, the plan that we've told to the players, the plan has been 3 sets a day. We want 1 play all 3 from a player per week. We want 3 sets a day. Obviously, we have 2 today. We have had a nightmare this season. We're doing our absolute best to make sure that everything happens on time and that everything is covered in the right way. So 2 sets today. There may be a little bit of adaptation. I think it is still going to be a Friday through Monday situation, but just know we're working as hard as we can to make sure that things go smoothly for this I will leave it at that for now. There's so much behind the scenes happening all the time. So I spent a lot of hours after these 8-hour days trying to keep things running smoothly for everybody, both the fans and the players. So they're thinking it over right now. Perhaps looking at the tech trees. Thinking about like how good these civs can be on these maps. Yo, appreciate it, Poco. Thank you. A T90, when are you going to update the civs flags behind you? That was a gift. And it was a gift like right before the Georgians and Armenians were introduced. So my fiance was kind of pissed, to be honest. She got this for me and it was immediately outdated. And now we have more civs. So I'll probably update it at some point. I do want a bigger one because it's weird that it's like, you know, fills the middle of the wall. So I think we can get an updated one at some point. But yeah, she was like, are you kidding me? She was kind of annoyed. She wanted early access from the devs just so she could find out. I don't recall the timeline on it. Obviously, it was like a surprise. So I think I knew the new civs were coming, but I didn't like tell her because I didn't have a reason to share that with her. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's the bands. Here's the bands. Lewis bans Bengalis. Running bans Dravidians. They're going to play chicken here with the new civs. All right, no new civs banned yet. Lewis is thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's wondering. He's like, I don't know. Chinese is pretty strong. I don't know. Italians is pretty strong. Running might want to play Bohemians. I need to ban Bohemians. Yup, Bohemians. If Lewis is going to ban all the new civs, he's got 3 bans. You better start banning them now or get ready to play them, potentially. Again, my opinion is, at least with these maps, I'm not really sure they're the best civs to play. They're new. They're fresh. So far, Bengalis, Bohemians, Koreans. And then Dravidians, Vietnamese, Chinese. And then Malay. Somewhere in the dev room, there is a dev punching the sky in joy that the DLC civs have not immediately been banned. He's like, yes, we found a balance. Yes! Also, the guy who's in charge of DLC sales is freaking out too. Because there's a chance they could be played here. All right, Tupi was banned. Okay, so we have our first ban of a DLC civ. Now, Lewis gets first pick here, I think. So if there's a civ that's really strong, yeah, Lewis gets first pick. So he might want to leave whatever that would be. Really waiting for the final second here. Muisca. Okay. So Lewis bans 2 of the 3 new civs. Remember, Incas were refreshed. He could go Incas. The other one would be Mapuche, but he goes Persians first. Okay. With no hesitation. I could definitely see Lewis wanting to play Incas on slopes. But then again, he just picked Persians, which I guess could be good on stranded or slopes. Running's really got to shoot for the sky here. Like, being 0-6, you can't just say anymore you need 1 win. Yeah, realistically, you need to beat Lewis like 2-1 or something. He picks Turks. Okay, so that's clearly for Tuluo, which is the closed regicide map. Now he has decisions to make for stranded and for slopes. I wouldn't hate Wu here. I like Wu a lot for stranded. I think it could suit his play style. Mongols is always a good option for all these maps. Maybe Mayans. Maybe Huns. Maybe Malians. There's so many good options. He goes Mapuche. Okay. What's he been cooking up here, dude? What has he been cooking up? New DLC civ picked. Someone pointed out on the subreddit, by the way, that guy has armor, has lots of pierce armor, but he's not wearing a shirt. You can't really see it. It's nice to have a little bit more movement from the unit up there. At least the lance is bobbing up and down a little bit more. Most of these units are so stoic. And then Incas for Lewis. Okay. Yeah, new Incas are very, very strong. If you play heavy Dark Age with them, it was the first thing I thought we would see after I looked at the balance changes. To get the extra pop space from the houses and have the settlements is really strong, and then he goes Japanese. So right now, I see it pretty clearly. I think Lewis is going to play... Actually, I'm not so certain. Like, what is Lewis going to play on Tuluo? I don't know. Because, like, Incas could be for slopes, Persians could be for slopes. Incas and Persians could be for stranded. Japanese could also be for stranded. None of these scream Tuluo to me. Whereas, okay, running picks Cumans now. That's an interesting pick. Because you would have expected he go Turks on Tuluo as well. So maybe he goes kind of double pick. You do get 5 civs. What's up, Weckening? Welcome. Varen, thank you for the 34 months with Prime. Thank you, Sergio, on YouTube. Appreciate it, Sergio. Yeah, the samurai just will not stop moving. I wonder if there's a way... Would you guys like it if the unique units moved a little bit more? If they were more like the samurai? I think I have no choice in that. I think that's literally just the idle animation for the unit. It's not like I could talk to somebody about changing it. So, I guess the samurai is just fidgety like that. Mongols then for running. I guess if there's too much movement, it's a lot. Guys, is the draft blinking for you guys? Yeah, you see that? Are you seeing that blink, or is that just me? It's very odd. I have no clue why that would be happening, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Oh, every time they pick, it blinks? I don't think that was happening before. Why is that happening? Guys, if you see the draft blink, that just means you're really special. Like, really valuable. Oh my god, Lewis ran out of time and got Teutons. Lewis ran out of time. You have 30 seconds. He ran out of time and random Teutons. Yikes. Okay, so I guess, I mean, he might play Teutons. The Titans League draft stats are going to be really interesting on picks now. There's going to be one pick of Teutons, and everyone's going to be like, who did that? Where were they playing that? Yes, if the draft screen blinks, that just means you're special to me. Okay, and then running gets Lithuanians. Guys, big brain from Lewis. Maybe Lewis was this is all part of his strategy. He somehow, he wanted Teutons. Oh my god. Hey, you could have random more civs. You have some conversion resistance against a really good arena player, so there's some positives there, I guess. But holy, that's funny. I doubt Teutons will be played. It's a play all 3. So Teuton fans, I know we have the Elite Teutonic Knight emote as well. I don't want you to get too excited, all right? It's probably very unlikely that we end up seeing it here. All right. So, again, guys, to those that have supported TTL so far, thank you so much. Welcome in. This is the start of round 3. At this point, Arbase said yesterday I should stop saying pivotal. Pivotal. Jeez. But every game is pivotal, right? Every game is really important. We've seen in Silver League and Gold League already how having an off week can really snowball against you. And at least for these two, like Running's 0-6 right now, he needs some wins. With bottom 2 getting relegated, this is very much the danger zone. If he were to win 2-1 or 3-0 today, he's alive and in it with more future results. For Lewis, he's mid-table. He's had a good season so far. It's been a mixed bag. He lost 2-1 and then he won 2-1. So not bad, but considering other people have 3-0'd Running, there's now pressure on Lewis to do the same. Even if Running were to get 1 win against Lewis, with Lewis's race against Nikov and Lewis's race against Sebastian, those players already got 3 wins there, so that could be rather tricky. And then we do have our second series today. Second series today is going to be from Group A. That'll be number 1 against number 2. That'll be Leary Tato. Predictions there should be very close. I'm very curious on how prepared Tato's going to be. He's typically one of the most creative players. So yeah, I would just expect that like Leary might not be someone with the new sieves and the new balance who's going to be quite as adaptive. So I think that factor might be very good for Tato. But we'll have to see. I did in my predictions before the season, I predicted a 2-1 win for Leary there, but I think that would be very close. But this one's got a little bit of a different feel to it because Lewis is a player who was promoted up from Gold League, who feels like he could stay in Platinum League. Sometimes players will have a really good run, and then a year later, they're not as sharp, or they're not clicking as consistently, or maybe they're, maybe there's so many different factors. But like with Lewis, it's been a really strong 12 months since he got promoted up. So it makes the group really competitive and really interesting here. Miss MS Rice says, every week you lose your games is bad to you. Thanks for the tip. You understand, I have to say things that are somewhat obvious at times, okay? Everything can't be super analytical and in-depth and mind-blowing, okay? But yes, you're welcome. You're welcome, all right? My camera just blinked as well. Did it? Did my camera blink? Now I'm paranoid that my OBS is being weird today. I'm not dropping any frames. Like, don't troll me. If there's issues, tell me. But I want to make sure we're running smoothly here. Okay, it doesn't seem like there was actually an issue. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Chivy Wivy, thank you very much for the prime. Welcome. Any questions before we get started, guys? 2 sets today. Lewis versus running, Leary versus Tato. We're not taking a break, but the schedule for tomorrow is, well, nope, that's not it. Sorry. I think the schedule's here. Yeah, so that's what the schedule looks like for tomorrow. Tomorrow would be ACCM Andy, MBL Barrels, Syscon, and Lucho. I probably should toss it on a scene that doesn't say ending stream, but whatever. Noob says, there's an issue on my screen. It looks like Doubt isn't playing. Well, we'll be covering Doubt. Doubt in Gold League is a really interesting scenario. But we won't be covering Doubt today. We'll be covering the entirety of Gold last round this upcoming week, starting Tuesday. And in Doubt's group, in his quest back to Platinum, things could not be closer for him. Check this group out. It's 10 wins for him, 10 wins for Sorakuma, and guess who he plays in the 5th round? Sorakuma. So winner there likely goes first, but even that's not guaranteed because Kapoch is here behind them. Kapoch has 9 wins. So if Kapoch gets a 3-0 and the Doubt Sorakuma series goes 2-1, Kapoch will actually take first place. So this could go either way. First place in Gold goes immediately to Platinum. It was really emotional for Doubt last season when he got relegated. He was so disappointed. So like it would mean big things for him to be back in Plat. But yes, all that gets covered tomorrow. Or sorry, no, not tomorrow. Tuesday is what I meant to say. And this series is going to kick off here in just a minute. Yo, Blair's back. Thank you. Susie, I did mention the video idea to her, and it may happen in the future, but you know how it goes. It's just an idea. Very busy with Titans League right now, so no promises any of that happens soon. Thank you, JT. JT, welcome back. Thank you for the 3 months. Oh, Gabrizi with the tier 2 on YouTube. Sheesh. Thank you. It will be Stranded Game 1. What do you think we see as far as civs for Lewis here Game 1? Honestly, his top 3 picks are all really good for the first map. You have to use Process of Elimination. I'm almost assuming he would go like Way for Tuluo. Teutons. I don't think he'll play Teutons. Yeah, Teutons is extremely unlikely because he did not plan to pick it, but if anyone has a beer in their hand right now and want to make a drinking game out of this, take a sip of your beer every single time someone asks in a chat, why is there a spinning dice? because that is always confusing for people. That is just because he ran out of time. You have 30 seconds to make a pick. And if you don't make your pick, the game picks one for you. All right, now people are very drunk. People are getting very drunk on a Friday. I guess that's not too bad. It's not like it's a Tuesday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere though, so I've really needed a beer the last couple days, believe me. But I've been holding back. I've been sick, so I didn't feel like beer would really cure that. And like I said at the start of stream, I'm feeling much better. Not 100%, but I did 3 8-hour casts in a row the last 3 days, which is horrible for a sore throat and a runny nose, but no running nose today, so maybe the tea that everyone was telling me to drink has paid off. And chat was really pressuring me yesterday. Okay, so both players are in the lobby now. And we should be a couple minutes away from the launch. And it will be Stranded game number 1. Very curious. Oh man, there is nothing better. There is nothing better than a contributing chatter. Hey T90, I have a 40-page document of feedback and advice for TTL format that I think you should take a few hours to go through. I'm sure you have plenty of free time, so I'm assuming you will get to this by the end of day. Thanks. 40-page, huh? Well, yeah, I'll get right on that. Is it double-spaced? How big is the font? Is the font, like, massive size, so it's only a word per page? Because then I might actually read it. Oh, man. Honestly, that sounds way less stressful than some of the things we've been going through behind the scenes. To be honest with you. That actually sounds like a breath of fresh air. I'm sure my admins would agree. A 40-page document? Sure. Yeah, let's do it. It would take us way less time. Oh, man. All right. The countdown is officially on. We now have 70 seconds till game number 1. Lithuanians, Persians on Stranded. So they picked the new DLC civilizations on their draft, but we will not see them at least for game number 1. But we will also have the new boats, all right? Watts says, T90, the YouTube playlist order is backwards. Can you fix that? If Hardy's around, he could note that. That's probably something we could fix at some point, yes. We'll try to verify that and get around to that, so. I wasn't aware. I also can't confirm right now, but thanks for letting me know. Tricky Ricky on YouTube, welcome. To all the new people here, let me see you. Hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. 30 seconds. Running needs wins. 64K Platinum League. $30 per win as well. Lots of money on the line here. Lots of importance. Lewis wants playoffs. Lewis wants to make his fans proud. And Running wants to remind people why he made it to Platinum League in the first place. Yes, if you get relegated, you still get a massive chunk of change compared to previous seasons. But, you know, it probably has not been a very fun experience so far for Running. Wins are going to help that. Wins are going to turn it around. Winning is great. And I only get to feel it 52% of the time. Right, chat? Other people, at least in this tournament, they get to experience a little bit more than that. Lewis versus Running. Let's go. All right, folks. Welcome in. We are officially in round number 3 of Titans League Platinum. Thank you so much for the support. We're not quite at the midway point, but I guess like 1.5 games in, we are at the midway point of the season. And right now, things could not look any worse for Running. Running has started 0-6 in his group. And so improvement will need to start, and improvement will have to happen very quickly. Now, we have new patch, which means new balance changes. There's new water balance. So there's now hulks on water. The way fires and galleys interact are very different. So this is our first dive in of the new water balance in a tournament. The players have had some time to know this was coming. Players have had some time to prepare, but obviously it is still new. And players have played this game thousands of times to get a feel for the game. A change like that will take everybody some time. We've got the Persians for Lewis. We have the Lithuanians for running. And just a quick look at what the group looks like right now. That is incorrect, and we need to fix that. Never mind. We add all these new features, and they say, haha, they're not going to work when we're live. That is not what I wanted to show you. But let's try the other button that's really cool. What about this? All of them? Please work? Oh, my freaking God. Okay, well, hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the results that already happened. We will fix that later. I am so sorry. Basically, it is 0 wins for running, and it is 3 wins for Lewis. I swear it all works before we're live. It all works before we're live, and then we're live, and then, you know, here we are. So, both town center spots are solid. Both civs actually have a very similar start, and it should even out if the players are playing it properly. So, in running's case, you get the extra 100 food. That extra 100 food means you don't need to be on food as early, and then you can chop trees, which leads to the faster fishing ships. For the Persians, you get plus 50 food and plus 50 wood. So it's similar. You don't need to be on wood or on food as early. And you start with the extra wood. So basically, Lewis needs to bring in the elephant a little bit faster. Running will probably bring in the elephant around now. And if this is all labbed out perfectly from both of them, and that's not necessarily a guarantee, population should be somewhat even. The other small thing there is the Persian town centers work faster. So with the Persian town center bonus there, the Persians should have a slightly higher vill count and population count, but anyways, yeah, running's going to bring in his very first elephant right now and actually saves the rhino here. But it's a nomad start. Players will be scouting instead with the water buffalo. Picking up these additional water buffalo has proved to be very important, because the last thing you want to do on this map is build a farm. It's really fish heavy, and sometimes you'll be competing on water. So sometimes pulling a villager, walking around, collecting those buffaloes is important. Even bringing in the extra elephants can be nice. But the last 3 days, we've focused primarily on Silver League. And in Silver League, there's a super heavy focus on fast castles. And I just wonder, is that actually the best way to play it? Especially with the water change too? Like maybe being greedy, maybe going fast castle is something that could be done in Platinum League as well. I definitely think the map is going to have some meta shifts, both with the water balance, but also with what some of the Platinum players are going to see from the other leagues, if they weren't already paying attention. Running is scouting for the dock right now with that water buffalo. A strategy we saw the last couple days is forward docks on this map. But I'm not in love with forward docks against Persians. You're never going to take their docks down. Their docks are just extremely strong. Honestly, I'm not really sure what I like against Persians. Because, like, Persians just seem super solid. It's Lewis's first pick on the draft. So that was my point. We'll see what all the players end up thinking. But what I said at the start of the day was, like, yes, some of these new civilizations have some strong bonuses. And yes, they're very different. And yes, there's, of course, going to be some anxiety and some fear, right? Players are like, oh, no, the new civilizations could be OP. That's like the clickbait era we live in, right? Oh, this is OP. But they weren't the first bans. They weren't the first picks when there were civs remaining. Yes, they're very strong, but we live in an era of very strong civilizations. So at least based on the draft, while we do have Incas and we do have, was it Muisca or was it Mapuche that running picked? I actually forget now. It might end up fitting some of the balance of the other civs here. Running's going for the barracks. It was Mapuche? Okay. And running is on the way to feudal age. So this is clearly going to be man-at-arms. For Lewis, he's going to play more of the water approach, I'm guessing. And since your town center is right next to the golds, you don't need a mining camp there. Pretty clearly, Lewis is going to shift everything off of food, play super heavy on wood, because the fish is going to be his food income for now. Would expect a second dock from him, and he is going to build the second dock here now. The running is running forward. I do not think running can play the same style as Lewis. Lewis will always try and play whatever the meta is, right? And water has dominated this map. But what boat does he make? Does he make hulks? Does he make galleys? Does he make fires? I don't know. And there's the first militia for running. He needs to know the TC would be around there. He actually has very nice scouting. This feels like an early tower from running, maybe an early archer range. Running is also building a second dock, so he might have some resistance on water. But you cannot lose your militia to the town center here. That would be really bad. I think he knows where the town center is. I would like to see running make ships instead of the immediate archer range. Because you could tell Lewis is already going to have to adapt to your man-at-arms. And there's the early tower. Lewis doesn't see the tower. He knows about the first militia, and the other two are attacking the house. And oh boy! It's time to Hawk, baby. Here we go. We got Hawks on the way. See, a Hawk is a melee ship they've added. Now, there's been some balance changes since their testing. Basically, the way the water triangle is supposed to work is fires are good against galleys. Hawks are good against fires. Galleys take a very long time to mass. So if galleys take a long time to mass, then maybe Hawks makes the most sense. We'll see them in action. They have a grapple effect, but there's our Hawks, guys. And they're on the move for Lewis. Still getting pressured. The tower now goes up, which will put pressure on the wood line. And running is also making Hawks. So it's going to be grapple v grapple here. A Hawk coming down this way could maybe find the fishing ships for Lewis. If Lewis isn't careful, Lewis is not producing the Hawks because he's off of wood. He went for the archer range really quickly. So archers are obviously good here, but then he could end up losing water. It's a very, very difficult map to get right with how you spend your early resources. I actually really like running's build here. Here's the Hawk in action. Look at the grapple. Look at it. Look at it hook those fishing ships down. It is certainly unique. And that should be a fishing ship down. Oh, but you can garrison the fishing ships now. Important detail, you can now garrison fishing ships inside of docks. And there's been a lot of conversation on that. Because also the docks fire arrows. It should be a more defensive meta on water with that bonus. Especially with the Persians. Obviously the fishing ships aren't working. Meanwhile, the archers from Lewis did a good job to force these man-at-arms back. We got 2 more Hawks going in. We got 2 Hawks coming in this way as well, which has gone untracked. The fishing ships have to be sent back to work for Lewis. And the fishing ships could still end up getting sniped here. There's a lot of chaos right now. Both players have done a great job continually producing vills. I still prefer Lewis's position because he was able to get double bit axe. He's Persians. Persians have a lot of bonuses that bail you out, and he has saved most of his fishing ships. He will lose, I think, his second one there. And running is tracking him on the outside. Lewis will go for a counterattack. If running sees this, though, it's so critical that he sees this. He's Lithuanians, and he is the fast skirm, so he can chase that down. Great game from running here. Lewis's fishing ships are still spending time inside of the dock. Over here, Lewis will lose his first Hawk. And Lewis, he said to me when we covered some games together, he was just saying, like, other people 3-0'd running, and now he's under a lot of pressure, and the worst thing for him is if running were to 3-0 him. But I have to say, running's opening has been very sharp here. You have a decision to make in the off time in between sets. It's like, do you just give up and do you just accept that you're done, or do you continue to fight your way out of platinum? This is a very nice opening for him. And running also building the blacksmith in the middle here. Just really awkward for Lewis. I think Lewis wanted to go to Castle Age. Now he will have to stay deep in Feudal Age, and he's dropping a stable for the skirms. That's a very nice play. And also, I still think running has big problems here. Running is not... He doesn't have any farms. He has to drop a house there because he gets housed. He'll go out to take the deer. He is getting pushed this way. He's still harassing over here. So the idea, guys, behind some of the water changes, if I were to summarize it, I imagine from the devs' point of view, is they don't want water to be as snowbally. And so, without the garrison, running would have already won water, and then it could just be, okay, game over on water. So now you have some comeback conditions. Now there's some creative play available to save yourself in these situations. Some people are going to like it. Some people are going to hate it. Right? Because some people are like, well, Age of Empires is already a defensive game, and if Age of Empires is already a defensive game, we kind of feel like maybe we shouldn't make it more defensive. But, you know, that's the situation there. Lewis has certainly used the bonuses, but he is getting out-hawked right now. There's a lot of Hawks, and I think Lewis will eventually... it's actually fairly close. A 10 Hawks versus 9. I guess we don't really know. The running skirmishers are still sitting in the middle of the map. Running doesn't know, though, that Lewis has scouts yet. This is the critical thing to focus on now. And running also can't build the defensive tower. If he doesn't have army, if he gets pressured on the front, he could have some big issues. And here comes Lewis with those scouts and archers. Lewis will also go to the hunt on the side. This has been a very messy game. We also have the demos. Now, in the test patch, the demos were very weak. They've now increased the strength of the demos. At first glance, I find the fact that the demos and the Hawks share the same sail is maybe a little visually confusing. And there might not be a lot of time to pay attention to that because the scouts get the villager kill here. Let's see. Demos coming in. These Hawks are a melee ship, right? So the demos should be very strong. Let's see how it lands for running. Demo goes in. That felt a little underwhelming. Was not what he would have wanted. Running could have some issues. Might be worth buying stone for a tower here. But the demo goes in again. I mean, I think the demo's still going to change the fight. Still didn't... It felt like ever so slightly weaker than what we were used to. Lewis is distracted on the water right now. Running isn't even looking here. They're so focused on the water. Like, Lewis noticed that he didn't notice, though. The running still microing down here. Lewis still holding. The multitasking is on the shoreline. Running is having some issues. Gets the garrison. Loses some villagers. His eco is messy, and he will lose all of his ships down here as well. Nice shot from Lewis to hold on, but running is on the way to Castle Age. And Castle Age can change a lot in this game. Also, the Hawks over here from running, sniping more fishing ships. Can he get the last one? Can he focus on that? Get it? Oh, no, that could have been another fishing ship kill. But, I mean, if running can make a stable here, and he can make a couple knights can deal with what Lewis has out here. I mean, running's eco is completely off, but he's got the market to help balance it, and he is safe. I also don't hate continuing to play water in Castle Age. If you play water in Castle Age, you can just have this crazy fish boom. And deny your opponent's fish, of course, as well, so... Nothing about this has been pretty for either player. They've both been very evenly matched in what they're bringing to the table here. And you can just tell that there's been a lot of focus on the outside of the map here. And running garrisons his dock. And so he has some arrow fire with the garrison. He patrols in. And he will win this fight. Lewis expecting to win the fight because he had to clear up in the south. But by the time he got over here, running stabilized very nicely. Nice fight for running. It's exactly what I want to see, right? It's so good for running to show this level of fight, but you gotta win. You gotta win. You don't get rewarded based on how much you've improved game to game. You've actually got to get the W here. I think first step should be the warships upgrade, which will upgrade all the ships. So now you get the warships upgrade that will upgrade every single ship. A knight or two would be good as well. I don't actually have the warships upgrade memorized now, guys. Is it the same? Is it listed here? I actually don't know if it's listed here because it's not like a unit type anymore. Obviously, if the text starts coming in, it will show. But, oh, man, this is so bad for running. He had such a good advantage. He's just overextending. I think it's because he was getting towered here. He's sending knights forward right now. Just back and forth on water. Hawking it up. To any of the anti-hawkers. Remember, it was always just like straight fires on this map before this, right? The jury's still out on some of the water balance for me, but the one ship type has been replaced with another here. Archers will get sniped here. That's good for running. He still doesn't have the upgraded ships. He seems to be going heavier into land. And the knights are coming forward. Lewis is aiming to wall up everything. 50 villagers or 50 economy for both. 9 military for both. But running does have 7 fishing ships, which he will need to keep protected here. So Lewis is still producing heavier on water. He's just walling out the knights on land. Amazing job from Lewis here. Like, look at the amount he's had to wall. Not easy. But he's holding on. So with his Civ, he could maybe end up making some camels. Ooh, this is bad for running, though. This is really bad. He'll get hawked over here. And the hawks will lead to the fishing ship kills. There's not a lot of food economy for either player right now. So the fishing ships are still key. It seems like running was planning on still having the fish because I see another dock on the right side, but he will lose his fishing ships. Amazing find for Lewis. The running is running right through the hawks from Lewis. He's still over here attacking with houses. He does have monks getting relics right now, so the Lithuanians get +1 attack on their knights per relic. He will also drop a second TC. You get food income when your town center completes. The arrow fire does not do a ton here, but it might do enough to kill a couple ships. Knight will loop around. Lewis is dropping archer ranges to play cav archers. He also has a camel. He got bloodlines and he got forging. He should be able to win the fight against the knights. Monks are going to be really valuable here for running. My chat has become a discussion board on boats. Crazy. Normally, chat's like 50% trolling me, 50% asking questions. Well, maybe like 40-40 and then 20%, whoa, this is super cool, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting times, right? Interesting times to get used to all of this. Oh man, this siege workshop is so critical for running. It's so critical, and the conversions as well will be so important. Every monk is so valuable in this scenario. There's 2 of them there. The knights are still around to the side here for running. Maybe it's better off looping up to the north here. If he had his knights here, he'd be in a better position. Can he use his cav archer to kill the monk? He needs that kill. He gets the kill. Honestly, I think he's got just enough here to complete the siege workshop and hold the hill. Lewis has such a better economy now. Just Persians for you. And he's transitioned into the farms very nicely. He had water buffaloes for a long period of time. Knights become really tough to justify when you have only 8 on food. And cav archers are amazing for your vil production. You spend no food on the cav archers, which means it's just wood and gold for your military. Running is losing ground. He's lost water. It was an amazing start, but Lewis, the favorite, he's just stayed super consistent. And in an even KD game, you're always going to prefer the favorite. You're always going to prefer the Persians. And the Knights are just looking like they're so weak right now. Funnily enough, they're not weak with the attack. They have +3 attack for free because of the relics. But you don't have the eco for the armor or anything. It is 15 on food, though. But usually every knight needs to be conserved in the early stages. If you make it into the later stages of the game, then things can start to change a little bit. Scorpions can be a nice addition here. Same deal with the siege, though. Like, your monks and your siege, every unit needs to be conserved. If you lose them, it becomes really awkward building up the numbers again. And Lewis focusing down the Scorpions. And Lewis will get a conversion on the knight there. That's a nice find for him. That knight can technically be used against the Scorpions, but there's always going to be monks behind from running. They're basically fighting over wood control right now. There is some wood for Lewis in the back here, but the hills are super valuable here. I think that running needs to cancel the Scorpion after seeing this siege workshop. Maybe you can eject it for now, but I feel like if Lewis gets to a mangonel, you start to have big problems. His food eco is really nice. He might drop a 3rd town center as well. Maybe you just hold. Maybe you just hold. He's actually... His eco's flowing pretty nicely. And yeah, with it being mainly range units for Lewis, big siege shots can obviously change the game. Lewis has to be very careful with the micro. Lewis has water, though. Would have liked to see Lewis add another dock and add fishing ships, to be honest, but I think his work is... He's already doing well enough on land where he doesn't need that. What do we think of the new flags, guys? I love them. The new flags are so cool. Every civ gets new flags now. Looks really nice. There's so much detail. Lewis sees a lot of knights there, +3 converted cav archers. And he sees the flags. And he doesn't necessarily know what is in there. He will add a ram, though. So this ram will force running's hand a little bit. Feels like it's a 60-40 game. On another map, maybe I'd say it's like 65-35, but I think on this map, so much depends around one big fight, one big position. There go the Knights. The Scorpions and the Mangonels hop out. The Mangonel for running. It gets targeted by Lewis's Mangonel, but running gets the attack round that gets the kill. The Mangonel goes down. Lewis needs all of his conversions. Will he get them? Oh my god, that was such good unit control from Lewis. Guys, that's crazy. Persian monks are horrible. They're just horrible. They're what are some of the worst monks in the game. You don't get the upgrades for the HP. The fact that he's able to get those conversions there in that fight is game-changing. Without the conversions, I'm not so sure. The Siege Workshop goes down for running, and running, I think, felt like this fight was the game, and he's tried to dive. But again, it is just extremely costly. Another conversion for Lewis. It is extremely costly to be losing Knights like this, and the Cav Archers, much easier to produce right now. I think running's still in it. Losing the Siege Workshop was painful, though. He's distracting Lewis running around, and he still has that extra +3 attack. I think the big thing for him is armor. And, as always, I think having your own monks is going to be key here, too. Look at the amount of farms running has. My goodness, 31 farms. Such a good job. But imagine if those monks die and they aren't healing and they didn't get those conversions. That's a very different engagement there. I think running needs to maybe stop producing Knights to get the +2 armor here. There's fishing lines. That will boost the fishing eco a little bit for Lewis. And I think the Cav Archers will just go to target the monks. That's a good play. I like that. But you have to actually get them. Lewis goes for the conversions again. And he gets 2 conversions again. Right now, Lewis has 4 Knights, benefiting from the Lithuanian bonuses. He just keeps backing up. And running keeps trying to just send it with these Knights that are just not tanky enough. They're just not tanky enough. Cav Archer is just so good against Knights. The armor needs to be in. And there needs to be siege to back it up. And that is just a horrible fight. And running taps out. Lewis takes the first game. Man, that was a great game. That was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ultimately, with most of the games I've seen on this map, it just gets really difficult to be able to make lots of Knights, run into the choke points, and have the food eco to back it up. I like going Knights a lot if you have some of the fish. Maybe that's where it went wrong for running. But a beautiful hold from Lewis with his #1 pick. And he wins the first game. Again, I think there were some critical things here. I think the +2 armor needed to be in for running. I'm okay with him diving if he has the armor. When you get that extra 3 attack, you feel like you need to go in for the kill. It's possible he thought he had the upgrade. It's an expensive upgrade. So maybe he clicked it at one point and thought it was in, and the game was just too crazy that he didn't really realize. And then for Lewis, the conversions were also just massive. His siege engagements and his monk conversions were just slightly better. I know it's 6 conversions versus 5, but he converted Knights. Running converted a couple Cav Archers. The other aspect as well is the healing. I saw a lot of healing from Lewis, a lot of patience. I don't have that stat to show you in Capture Age, but the monks were consistently healing up armies. Lewis just played very patient there. But yeah, whoever wins this hill here, whoever wins these engagements wins the game. That's why running had that type of energy. If he snowballs a fight here, there's no way Lewis can survive without that hill. So just those tiny details there for running may be missing. But positive signs for him. I know he's 0-7, but like that's the best I've seen running play so far. It was super close. Let's see if he can turn it around on his home map next. Mushroomism says, is there a reason running didn't do anything on water when he hit castle, felt like he would win completely? You have 2 choices. At that time, Lewis had more ships than him. And at that time, Lewis had more map control on land. So I think from running's perspective, he just clearly leaned in towards the Knights. I don't think it's fair to say that running did nothing on water. Now, he could have gone for the warships upgrade and tried to play onto water and castle. But if he does that, he doesn't get the Knights and he doesn't get the relics. So there's pros and cons to every decision. I think that map is normally dominated by the lands control. So I think he actually made a really good decision in playing it as he did. But just slight execution things there, right? Missing +2 armor was brutal. If he has that armor upgrade, I think maybe the fights go differently. And again, maybe he thought he had it. I would assume that deep into the game, he probably was queuing Knights and Vills, and then he clicked the upgrade, and then you're just not able to, if you're under immense amount of pressure, sometimes you miss it. So, and then we're just sitting here like, what are you guys snacking on right now? Like popcorn? People are stuffing their face with popcorn, drinking a beer, feet propped up, no stress whatsoever. And we're like, why did that guy not get the tech? Right? Like, it's a completely different world once you're in the game. As I think everyone who's played the game understands. But like, this is another level of pressure as well. Okay, I regret asking chat what you guys are eating because now I'm hungry. Tiny Geese, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Robok and Proud Kebab, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you, chat. Thank you for the hype train. They'll be in Tuluo next. Still very curious what Lewis picks here. Okay, he goes Wei. So, back to the draft. We do have the Mapuche picked and Incas, which are kind of new and improved, picked on the draft. But we have not seen those civs played yet. Maybe we see that civilization played in the third game, but I could see the civs now. It's going to be Turks against Wei here. I like Turks. Wei, I mean, Wei can be very good. But I'm not sure the way that you play them in this situation, to be honest. I don't think it's a civilization that will ever be bad. I think you can get ecotechs and get additional vills, which will always be a good bonus, but wouldn't normally see it as a civilization that I would prioritize heavily here. I guess Lewis didn't. It was his 4th pick, and he picked Persians, Japanese, and Incas for the earlier maps. We still don't have the Wei emote, huh? We've been way behind on that. That's my bad. I'll add that Wei emote soon, so that way you guys can say no way in a more creative way. Yo, Prince, what? Prince again. Prince going off. Dodge is in the chat, and if you didn't get a sub there, I don't know what to tell you, man. Unlucky. Twitch is rigged. Thank you so much, Prince. My goodness. Unreal. Prince has been one of the MVPs of TTL so far. Thank you. All right, let's focus up here. Running needs wins. He's 0-7 right now. Lewis will want the wins because, well, other peoples have got the wins against running. We've got Tuluo. It's a regicide map. We've got the king. So if you lose your king, you are defeated. Now, with regicide start, you do not start with any golds. And so you cannot get loom. But then the other guy is also loomless. So it's a weird situation. Your villagers would be very vulnerable if the other person could get loom. But the walk back and forth to get the gold would take a lot of time to get loom. It'd be very inefficient for your eco. They both have decided to go to the middle and build a dock with 2 vills. So far, it seems like there's a peace treaty out here. Some type of agreement that they're both just going to take the fish together. I feel like running has picked the civ that I would expect here. He's gone for the Turks. All the stone, though, is on the outside. So that's something to remember. You have to chop through these trees, and the trees have 200 wood. So it does take some time to get through there. If you really focus down individual trees, though, you can be there while you're on the way to Castle Age. We actually had a player yesterday buy the stone for a castle instead of even mining the stone. If you missed it, he did that, and then at one point he went rams and conquistadors after the tower, which is where the king was. And he took down the tower, but he lost his conquistadors to the town center before the king ended up dying. So it was like really all or nothing. It probably should have worked. It was just, yeah, it was a really crazy game. None of the platinum players are going to admit this, but they will pay attention. They will watch and see what the Silver League and Gold League guys are doing. And if there's anything that piques their interest, they're going to be like, oh, I might steal that. I might try that. Oh, interesting. So again, you can garrison the fishing ships now, which definitely changes this map. And it still fires arrows, so running just lost 1 HP. So I guess that means you can just add more fish here. Oh, Lewis is up. Look at the feudal age time from Lewis. Lewis is up. And Lewis is going for a Hulk. I think running needs to get out of the middle quickly. Maybe run to the left running. Actually, with that tower range, running is probably fine. The tower has 13 range. But with the Hulk coming out, Running will probably lose his fishing ships. I just think it's unacceptable to lose your scout here. You have to save that. Lewis is playing this map aggressively. And he's going to start hulking. But can't Running just hop inside the dock now? Yeah. But, okay, so he'll fish to the other side. The dock only fires arrows in certain situations. Let's see if he garrisons again. Yeah, so it will fire arrows from range, but there's a minimum range to the arrows. So if you're on top of the dock, the arrows aren't hitting you. I think as far as Lewis is concerned, he doesn't want to overinvest into this. So 2 Hulks is probably the maximum. And he probably wants to snag eco upgrades. That's another point of going fast feudal with the way. You get Vils for every eco tech. So, I mean, Running it will be up much later. Running is dropping a barracks here. Running walling up the backside. Running seems to me like his plan is to just go like scouts or light cav or something. And he's still trying to get value from his fish. Then every time a unit shows up, he'll garrison. He garrisons. The arrows shoot at the scout, and the scout backs away. Now the fishing ships are back out. It's so nerdy, dude. And here comes the Hulk again. We'll run and get back inside the dock. He gets back inside the dock. Running's definitely late to golds. He should have the food underneath the TC. Plus, he has the farms. And I'm guessing he'll build his buildings here. And market. And is it going to be market stable? Okay, market stable. So Running's going to play this arena style then. Turk's getting free light cav. When he makes it to Castle Age, he'll probably just make light cav. He'll come look and see what Lewis is up to here. Obviously, his scout is weak. He can see the flag there, so he knows the king is inside the tower. That's what both players have done. He is making Hawks now. So he is going to fight back on water. And actually, what's unique about this is the flag being there from the fishing ships won't lead to Lewis suspecting anything. So now he pops out, and now Lewis is like, wait a second. He's hulking me. But then if he backs away to attack Running's Hulk, there's then the arrows from the dock. Wow, there's a lot going on here. This is completely different. Yeah, so now he has to stand close to Running's dock so he can't get hit by the arrows. But now he's getting hit by the arrows because Running microed away, and now he's going to lose a Hulk. Interesting. Wow, that's really well played from Running. I thought he would... Again, he would just straight up lose water without these balance changes. He's utilized the changes. I still don't think fishing ships are extremely valuable long term, but I mean, that was supposed to be an advantage here for Lewis. You know, players are going to nerd out and get every advantage they can. Running is on the way up. Running is making more scouts as well. He will back away with this scout. I think Running's just thinking, if I can't fish, you can't fish. But he does lose the scout there. He's definitely just hoping to hold the middle. But I think what could be so good for Running here, I haven't seen Lykev against Hulk yet. But, ooh. Yeah, if he could just show up with a couple Lykev here and snipe the villagers, that would be very nice. Lewis is almost chopped through the back. Actually, he's still pretty far away, and this gets really jumbled up as well. That is messy. And Running will be in Castle Age. Still using the fishing ships as the arrows against the Hawks. Still hopping out with his own Hawks. Lewis micro's back. That's 1 HP right now, dude. What a save. What a save. But now the scouts are here. That will soon be Lykev. Lewis loses another Hulk. And, yeah, I just don't know how good the Lykev are in these situations. I feel like you take the repair villagers, and then you're happy. Hulk. H-U-L-K. Hulk. Tiny boat with grappling hooks. Not honk. Hulk. Hulk, chat. Hulk. Sorry, I am still recovering from being sick, so maybe I can't enunciate as much as I should. Okay, Lykev will go for the Vils. I like the idea. Those villagers should never get home. Unless you feel like the light cav still need to patrol around the map, we have the second TC for running. Lewis is up, though, and Lewis has the villager lead because of the ecotex. Resources collected, he's ahead. He will actually drop an archery range now, so it seems like his plan is to play Jean Bays. Jean Bays were nerfed. Again, I'm saying Jean, not John, okay? Yeah, the units were nerfed, so their production speed was nerfed. Villagers are going home. Running is getting the blocks. Running gets the kill, and Running gets the scout there. So he gets one villager. Still holding some control on water. Man, well played from Running. I'm really impressed with the tiny details he's paid attention to here. I think water is pretty much a non-factor at this point. Maybe Running comes in here to take the Hulk. I'm not sure, but it's more about the eco. Running is mined through, but you need to scout out here now. So it looks like... Ooh, he has. Ooh. Oh, that would be... Oh, can you imagine the timing here? Lycav looping around. Lewis will never expect a Lycav back there. It is only one Lycav. The other detail, though, is that you also find all these buffaloes that could, in theory, come home and help your eco a little bit. Lewis thinks he's safe back here. The Lycav is back to attack, and Lewis sees it. That'll be one dead Vil, though. Lewis has done the right things. Just fight it back. You'll probably bring some military back here, but nice snipe from Running. Yeah, Running's got the strats right now. Playing it like a home map. I mean, forget about what we know about Running's results so far in this season, and you're looking at this like this is a very even matchup. I think relics will probably start to be the key here for Running. You should know the relics are always in the corners, and then there's that one in the middle. So maybe from his perspective, the middle is really important for that relic. Still think he should drop the third TC pretty soon. For Lewis, he's showing that he's going Jean Bays. So that's some information for Running. I don't think that's horrible, though, because Lewis does that. He does delay his town centers. Lewis has... His economy has certainly seen better days. It doesn't seem extremely efficient right now. And Running will drop the third TC, and he's just going to run around the outside and get the relic in the middle now. So... T90, what takes down a dock faster, a Hulk or a fire? I'm not actually sure, to be honest with you. I think a fire ship would. I think a fire ship should be more, but... I haven't seen it enough times, to be honest. Why would he pick Turks here? Turks are one of the best late-game civs there is. Turks are one of the best civilizations with maps that have a lot of stone and a lot of gold, which is one of them. So I really like the Turks pick. The weakness for the Turks is all the early-game stuff. You don't get the bonuses that the Wei do with the additional villagers, but early bombard cannons, cav archers with 100 HP, artillery, bombard cannons with extra range. I mean, Turk late game is really hard to stop, and Running, that's probably his strength over someone like Lewis, is the late game. He already has one relic. It's taken Lewis a lot of time to bring his army forward because he spent so much time massing them, but also in his own base, and more Lycav are running around as well. Should be at least 2 relics for Running. Maybe this monk ends up getting sniped, though. And he will. Hello, monk. Goodbye, monk. Oh my god, what if Lewis trapped himself with the relic? What if he killed that monk and the relic stood in that tile? Is that possible? Oh, man, I actually think that's possible. That would have been so funny, dude. Wow. That's a 1-tile gap he was standing in. If that relic dropped here, like right beyond it, those units would be stuck. Whew. And where the relics go is not always exactly where the monk dies. Example A. The relic is inside the base. But I think Running is still going to end up getting 3. The problem for him is... Lycav alone... Oh, Lycav are in the back. I'm so sorry. T90 blind. He killed a couple of villagers back here. But yeah, eventually you need to fight the Jean Bays. Okay, this is a unit that is pretty tricky to deal with once it gets to good numbers. His food eco isn't fantastic to go for camels or for more Lycav, but I think camels would be a really good call. He is walled in most areas. Here we just have a random Hulk against the dock again. The kings are in the towers. Do you want to do something fun, guys? I might regret doing this. But how about for every king that is sniped from here on out in the season, I will gift 50 subs to the channel. Does that sound good? For every king that's sniped the rest of the season. In all leagues. In all leagues. Not even just this league. In platinum and in gold. Let's do it. Let's do it. Make things interesting. Suddenly people are a lot more interested in the game, it seems. I swear, we never see king snipe. So if people start sniping kings, something is up. I'm going to have a word with a few players if they actually end up sniping kings all of a sudden. All right, hold on. Let's set some rules. Let's set some rules. What if someone's already dead and they send their king forward? That doesn't count. Hold up. Back up. No deal. If a player is already dead and they send their king to its death, that does not count, okay? There's a lot of players listening. It does not count. Because you know how it goes. Normally people GG and they never let their king die. But if that were to suddenly change, that's because of the deal. We will have a council, which will be very fair and unbiased council that will decide on if a game was decided via the king snipe or if it was already over, okay? A council being the admins that I pay to to run this event. No, it's all right. I will be fair with you, but I thought that would be fun. I kind of regret it now. Jean Bay's getting some snipes around the back for Lewis. Lewis has maintained a nice villager lead. The Jean Bay count's getting pretty high. He doesn't have bloodlines yet, though. Making Jean Bay's and not getting bloodlines is like... I think of a real-life example, but it's very, 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 very bad. Because your unit only has 36 HP, so... Bloodlines adds a significant increase, percentage-wise, of HP to this unit. Would be lovely to see them consider demos here. Neither player is. Running is considering the Imperial Age, and Running, as long as he gets a second building, he can click up. And we've all been there. A little late with the second building. I find it much easier to play light cav, though. You could just patrol a couple light cav around, and they can always win fights in low numbers. The issue for Lewis is going to be, or the issue for Running, rather, is going to be in the direct engagements. And we might have a direct engagement here. Forward castle from Lewis. I think the army is too weak for Running. He's clearly waiting for Imp. This is a lot of pressure. Running, do not lose your freaking king, bro. Seriously, I swear. Your king is in the tower. That is your life, okay? If you lose it, you lose $30, and very good odds you get relegated. Win the game, keep your king alive, please. The garrison for Running happens. The John Bays are so weak. No bloodlines is so bad. So bad. I think he's gone too far. He's gone too far. He's going to lose his whole army. I could be wrong. But if Running properly takes this engagement, I think the John Bays are toast. Oh, man. There is actually... Oh, God. Horrible. Just horrible engagement for Lewis. Could not have been worse for him. The castle's great. But that was brutal. He might have been looking in the back of his base because the light cav were still back there. But Running is already on the way to Imperial Age. Running will drop a castle here. Running can immediately make trebs and maybe bombard cannons to push this castle back. And Running gets the Hussar upgrade for free. Lewis could be in trouble. Running can now just move immediately to his base. If he spots this castle, this could be a denial. Lewis doesn't even have that many villagers building it, and Lewis does not have bloodlines. Again, the Jean Bay's 36 HP right now. This is extremely weak. And oh man, the Hussar upgrade will be in any moment as well. This could be good for Running. He's still behind an eco though, so he needs some big damage. I like the walls on the outside. Also, props to Lewis for getting 3 relics. Lewis has done for missing bloodlines and losing all that army. Everything else he's done has been really solid here. But yeah, now this gets messy. Now the Hussars can just dive. And trebuchets will be coming in for Running. It's tough when your woodlines is basically opening up the back of your base. I think Running needs to have some confidence that he can move through there and just go for the raids. Like that's a situation where I think those Hussars should continue to run through. But still is being pressured, still is losing this town center. It's a tiny detail, but I'd like to see him repair this TC. Losing a town center is really bad in these scenarios. Lewis's castle is giving him a lot of time. Running is going to take the middle water. And the eco is just wide open back here. There's nothing over here. Running is overthinking it, I think. Like, there's nothing over here, dude. You were there. You're exactly where you needed to be. This is the location you need to raid right now. I guess he'll come to that conclusion in a moment when he's not finding anything from Lewis over on the left-hand side. I think he thought Lewis had resistance and Lewis had army, but Lewis is Castle Age army, and you've got Imp army now, my dude. Light Cav needs to get in. Lewis has a 30 villager lead. Lewis will think about Pikemen, which is a great call, combined with the Jean Bays. And Castle for Lewis on the front will go down. Running just 2 town centers, though. So recovering economically gets really difficult for him. And tech switching gets difficult when you're down this much in eco. So you could just hit a wall where you're playing in towards, like, Camel and Hussar against Haubs. And that's why that timing was extremely critical for him to get the raids in. Look at all the blue dots from Lewis around the map, too. Outposts around. I think both players should be walling the outside and building gates there so they can pass through and the opponent cannot. And yeah, Lewis is held. Running was an imp for a full 3 minutes. But he lost his town center. He didn't kill that many vills. He's only killed 10 villagers this game. Seems to me like he will attempt a tech switch. And it's a very good tech switch, but it takes a lot of time and resources. He wants cav archers. Lewis just running around with the Tiger Cav, forcing Running to chase. And now Lewis will bring his army. He will find the tech switch. Finding the tech switch. This is precisely what Running could have done to Lewis with the Hussars, where the barracks were going up, right? But now, like, none of the units can hop out. The villagers building the buildings are getting sniped. We have Lou! We have a Lou Schwan. Kind of like a cannon galleon longboat hybrid. And guys, the ores actually move in the new patch. Wait for that ship to move again and watch it. Look at it. They're rowing now. Took us 27 years to get people to actually row with their boats. Let's go. Guys, Lewis has just exploded with population. He's got 200 pop. There was a window there for Running, but the TC count for Lewis is insane. The eco expansion on the outside behind this is insane. And Running would just... He really has to play the perfect game from here. Every unit needs to be extremely well microed. And he's still very late to getting the mass that he needs. The difference in economy is crazy. And a castle in the middle of the map for Lewis. He's got the Lou Schwans here pressuring the houses. I really hope he can't range that tower. I think Running's window was on the right-hand side. It was before the barracks went up. It was exactly where he was, but he didn't trust his Hussars. Now, I don't know how it goes. I think Running's in a better position if he goes on the right side. I'm not saying he wins the game, but I think it's very easy to overthink things and try and do something that is completely unnecessary when the pressure is high. And when you also lack confidence, right? When you lack confidence, you feel like you need to do more than what is necessary. I think him being here with like 15 units and just leaving to the left side, it really slowed him down. Also, just the detail of still being on 2 town centers is rather difficult for him too. Where on earth is the king? Get into the freaking castle. Sorry, the bet has made this really tense for me. I probably shouldn't have done that. King is going back. He's going to save his king so it doesn't get sniped. He does have Sipahi, so the Turk Cav Archers are getting there. He does have good resources to maybe get Heavy Cav Archer. He is microing back his camels. He is taking good trades here. But Lewis, probably realizing he needs something other than just Jean Bays, is going to play Tiger Cav now. What Turks need is they need gold all the time. If you can play Heavy Camel and full Cav Archer, you can beat the way here still. Like that Tiger Cav are expensive unit to be tossing away there. Lewis maybe needs to think about the outside a little bit. Start to raid. Like maybe the north there's an avenue. He's really positioning his castles for the late game though. All these castles are really strong. But Running's held on, guys. Running is held on. His army seems really strong right now. The Cav Archers are definitely a tough unit to deal with. And yes, Tiger Cav is good against archers, so they'd be good against the Cav Archers, but they would be weak against the camels. Running for now still does have a decent amount of golds. He does have 40 on food. The boats are rowing in the middle. People are excited, I think. Maybe. As excited as they can be about boats. Heavy Cav Archer is in. Lewis, things have slowed down a little bit for him. He's thinking about structure. He's thinking about what could be a grind of a game, right? Which is the smart play, but... Man, I mean, it really just comes down to where the camels engage for running. He's raiding with camels right now. That is not where the camels need to be. So he doesn't really have that many. It's also tough. The traction trebs just right out of the siege workshop get 14 range. For Turks, they need to spend 600 food and 650 gold to match that range. Traction trebs, any civ that gets them, insane advantage if you're patient. This castle on the left from running might just be spotted by Lewis. Lewis has outposts everywhere. Guys, this is Lewis's fog of war. It looks like all visible right now. And there's a gold there. But yeah, Lewis might just need to send his Tiger Cav and his traction trebs over there immediately. He saw it, and he converted one of the camels there. Okay, Lewis will take the main fight. Here we go. Tiger Cav are a ridiculously strong unit. If the camels are gone, maybe the Tiger Cav can win the fight. The camels go directly into the Halbs. This double melee comp is super tough to engage into with the camels. And I think Lewis still knows he's got the better position. The Tiger Cav are keeping the siege busy, and the Cav Archer's busy for running. Running has to fall back. And over on this side, maybe Lewis can just focus down this castle. There's just not enough camels. And this double comp of melee units is just extremely strong for Lewis. The traction trebs will move onto the town center. Takes so long to kill the Tiger Cav. Lewis has more of them in queue, and the Loose Swans are still here to support. I don't think they can range the castle. But pretty soon, running will be on 1 TC. Yeah, it's just castle v castle here. I think the traction trebs can always move that way. I remember Lewis playing Wu at one point. And I thought he was a little late to playing Hussar. It was then that game against Andy. I think at this stage, if gold is going to run dry, granted, there's still a decent amount of it, but you do have to maybe consider Hussar. Obviously, you don't if you just win the game right now. You win the game by spending the golds, then that's not a concern. And I think he's well on that path, man. These things just don't die. Tiger Cavs are ridiculous. Guys, they get more HP, and they get more attack for every kill they get. And you do not need to research a unique tech to get that bonus. If there was a unit in present-day Age of Empires that does not feel like the others, it might be the Tiger Cav. And Lewis switching to that was a game changer. Well played to him. Lewis 2-0. Oh, man. I kind of want to go back to it. This isn't me trying to be critical, right? But this is the highest level of Age of Empires. And I feel like there was a really strong advantage here. You just took some damage. You're losing your town center. You're under some pressure. You should know Lewis has the superior eco. Just feel like running, like, from what we know, like, all the eco's back here. And from what he knows, all the eco's back here. He didn't have his upgrades yet. So, like, maybe he felt like he didn't have the armor yet, so he couldn't be underneath town centers. But look what Lewis actually has here for resistance. He has 7 Jean Bays, which have been horrible. Remember, they were not doing anything. And then he's just got, like, villagers and town centers. And then, like, running moves, he goes here, and then he goes here, and there's nothing there. And then Lewis uses the area that should be being raided to boom. So, you know, from my perspective, running had a window there. And by the time he gets back here, then his opponent has the pikeman, then his opponent has more army, then his opponent is an imp. But I really felt like that was the key. I think with Turks getting the extra Pierce armor too, maybe there shouldn't be as much hesitation underneath town centers. Very tricky. Either way, amazing play from Lewis to hold on. Gets the 2 wins. His economy was the key. More wood, more food, and more stone collected that game. Wow. But yeah, I would you guys agree though? For those that watch, that running has brought a better level today compared to the first two. You don't have to. I think he has. I think it's been very sharp. I liked his game plans. Like he's had time windows in every game. Some of in the first two rounds, it felt like he kind of crumbled under pressure really early. Maybe didn't look as motivated or prepped. Jingle Fox says, I think Lewis isn't playing well. Nah, I think Lewis is playing well. I think Lewis is playing really well. Lewis is rarely a player where I see him like just stomp the opponent and he just, okay, game over. Lewis is all about tiny advantages, just never breaking, just staying alive in the game. That's kind of how both games have been. But doesn't matter what I think. Running needs to win. Like, I think right now, this is third round. He needs to win this game. And then to stay alive, he would need to win probably the final two sets. So he's still searching for a win. And guys, we are going to see the new Incas at play here. Here we go. All right, so new DLC just came out, The Last Chieftains. They introduced 3 civs. But what they also did is they changed the Incas. And so I'm catching up to live time. Now, instead of Eagles, you have a Champy Scout. And I think the key thing to mention here is the Incas still have the bonus of getting additional population space from their houses. But hold on, I actually think Lewis has scuffed the build. But let me calm down. You get extra pop space from your houses. And then you have settlements now. But Lewis has not gone... He screwed up the build order here. He's going to get housed. Okay, maybe he's still fine. He's going instant drush, instant militia, and running knows it as well. People have been talking about this, and running is early walling, which is so good if he gets the wall. Garrison! Brother! Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, dude, if he just places a house and Garrison's there, the build is dead. And now they're in. Lewis is through, and Lewis is thinking about leaving. Tell me running saw that. Okay, running saw that. He's walling here. He's walling on the other side here. But, yeah, this is a lot of early pressure. And the Champy Scout moves very quickly. This is due to the new DLC, and that is the Mongol boar right now. And Lewis is going to kill the boar with his Champies. This is 3 minutes into the game. This is, there's the Mapuche, there's the Muisca, there's the Tupi. All those civs are strong. But I think the new Incas are crazy strong. And now if Lewis wants a settlement, you get population space from that as well. Wow. Again, players get 5 bans. There were no bans on the Incas, which was to my surprise. I thought we would see Incas banned. It was not the first pick. And Lewis is like, haha, you're Mongols, you don't get the hunt. Good luck to you, my friend. But running's chilling. Like, he'll move out here for the hunt, which is still good for the Mongols. He refuses to get Loom to fight this back. So the settlement now, you can drop off every single type of resource at the settlement. Technically, I think Lewis should be placing the settlement here then, so he can take gold and wood. But the reason this build is insane is because you get pop space from your eco buildings and you get extra pop space from your houses. So they basically, all the civs get pop space from the settlements, but they continued with the Inca bonus of getting the extra pop space from the houses. And then you combine that with the speed of the Champies. It makes for a very, very strong early game rush. But beyond that, I mean, the bonuses are solid. Your units are cheaper in each age. All these things are pretty comparable to what the Incas were before. Running's, I love this. Running is still eating the boar, so he'll actually get lots of food. I feel like Running needs to play Feudal Age and he needs to play Archers here. And he will go for the repairs here on the house. And he has been, all things considered, very patient against this. And he when he's in Feudal Age, which could be faster, could have a very solid build. Lewis. Looks like he's building up towards another settlement. Again, look at the population space now. Basically, if you don't need to build houses, that is wood spend for everything else. He's got 45 pop space in Dark Age, just playing a standard Dark Age. So my order of civs that are like broken or strong with the new DLC and the new balance, Inca's first. Then after that, I would go to maybe some of the other civs. But I think Inca's is clearly a little bit stronger due to this rush alone. Lewis will place another settlement on the golds. He still has the champions, of course, but they're still walled in. Running is keeping them here. He might regret that eventually, but one of them's pretty weak. And he's taking double food on the sides. Feels like very high risk, high reward. Lewis goes for the blocking here, and running will lose a Ville. It's so tough. Militia are so much slower than the champions. So it's really, really easy for the champy player to get the block there, and finally Lewis gets his first villager kill, at least. Lewis will make more champions now. More champions, more settlements. Again, look at his pop space. It's not normal, dude. He's just building eco buildings. It's not like he's doing anything that you wouldn't typically do in a game. Like, it'd be a mining camp, a lumber camp, a mill. 65 population space right now. And it will go from Champy Scout to Champy... Is running trying fast castle? Hold up, what? Oh my goodness, running is trying fast castle. I think he's out of hope. I think he's going for the ultimate risk. There is no way you can go fast castle here, man. So think of this Champy Scout to Champy Runner upgrade, kind of like upgrading to Man-at-Arms. But like, dude, running. Lewis is always going to check the sides. He can see everything inside your base. Like, he clearly knows you are not there with everything. And so, Lewis knows the map. Running is now running from the left side, and maybe Lewis doesn't expect him on this side? I can understand it from running's perspective. It's been a painful season. This is not... It hasn't been an easy start, and... Oh, God, he's missing 3 food to go Castle Age, guys. 3 food. Where's the food game? There we go. He's on the way up. But there's a tower now onto the gold from Lewis, and it's just perfect. Because when you go for this fast castle, you sell off your stone. You can't counter tower. And now running has some big decisions to make on what he does long term. Lewis will add the farms back at home. Lewis will add some archers as well. I love the adaptation here from Lewis. The build was certainly something to talk about. As well executed builds. It was a little critical at the start, but he made it work. But just the adaptation to understand that there's going to be units on the side is really smart. What is the plan for running when he gets to Castle Age? Like, Lancers, maybe? Which would mean he needs the barracks and the stable yet. And he's just so at the limit with his resources. For Lewis, the goal was a 3-0 today because that's what the other players have done. He was a little nervous about that. I think he felt he was the favorite, but like... He was like, it would be just like me to maybe lose a couple games here to running and then be behind the others in the group. Nice walls behind from running. He still doesn't really have a lot of res. He needs to keep the units out. Ooh, super close. I'm practicing my British sayings because I'm going to be in London in April. I think this is where the Brits would say squeaky bum time. That's what it is for running. Lewis does not think that running came back out here. Lewis did not check over here to see that there's villagers here. That's a British saying, right? I thought it was a British saying, no? I don't know. You guys tell me. Look, I'm trying to be respectful of Lewis here. Lancers are coming out for running. I could be respectful of running and say 9, you know. Don't do that at Red Bull. I know. I got to get it out of my system now. All right. Running's going for knights. He's in Castle Age. He's only lost 2 vills. Maybe it's acceptable. He isn't on gold, which is the issue. Oh, and he's been spotted over here. Oh, no. Oh, no. I said only lost 2 vills. He's going to lose even more. It's just high risk, high reward. It's Lewis's map. It's been Lewis's day. Now you just need to get the same amount of counter damage with the Knights. This is the correct play from running. Get into Lewis's base ASAP. If you're Lewis, you just spam Spearman to hold against this. If you can get enough Spearman at home to hold, even if you're in feudal age, you still have the superior economy. Let's see. He's panic walling. First Knight is here. Nice quick wall. Running is checking the sides. Dude, Lewis's defense is crazy. It's so good, though. Like, getting both those walls down just in time. Calculating this as well. It's all right down to the final second. For that to be down to the final second in every single moment, it can't just be chance, right? It's just comfort in understanding these ridiculous timings. Running is on the gold over on the left side. So that was a nice adaptation because he can't take this gold. But he needed in. Very well played. I think, like, just that period of silence there. Maybe he caught the Knights running past his archer range, but he knew it was happening. Still isn't walled on this side, but he should be. And now he's on the way to Castle Age. So, I think what I would have really liked to see here against this. Now, I think it would... Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's been found. He's been found. Oh, and the GG is called. Lewis gets the sweep. Heartbreaker for running, because I felt like game number 1 and game number 2, he had his chances. But obviously, on Lewis's home map, he took a risk here, and Lewis gets the 3-0. Just a great job from Lewis. Again, we have 5 bans per player here. There's lots of conversation about the new DLC and the new balance changes. The players knew it's coming in mid-event. Be ready for it today. There was no Inca ban. It was a later pick for Lewis. They made it work well with the early Champy rush. But I just think Lewis did such a great job adapting here. He pressured early, yes, but his economy behind it was really solid all game. The tower rush onto the golds at the time he had it was perfect. The recognition that, oh, he's going to take food on the sides here, fighting that, perfect. Fighting this, perfect. And then coming back here even. Like, to recognize, okay, there's a stone side and there's a gold side. I already scouted the stone side. He has to be taking gold and going here as well. And getting the walls. Sheesh. I mean, that's some play that's so clean that you could maybe take it for granted. So Lewis is a serious threat in the group. He's very well prepared. And, yeah, fun set. Fun set. Let's look at the odds now. I think for running that, well, you know what? We have once had someone make playoffs with 6 wins. The group played out a bit differently, but technically he should still have chances, but hard to have a lot of belief right now, I imagine. Lewis wins 3-0. Oh, there we go. According to this, running has 0.4% chance of survival now. So there is a chance. But yes, that would probably be him winning 3-0 in the last 2 rounds. And then other things going his way. I think Andy and Nikov would have to have a really rough time or something. And then for Lewis, he's got 6 wins after 3 rounds. That Nikov-Lewis series is going to be really valuable. I think the Sebastian-Lewis series is going to be really valuable. Basically, if he wins those sets, he probably goes into the playoff position. But, yeah, great series. Great series. Great play from Lewis. Next series is scheduled to be live in 30 minutes. What do you guys think about an interview real quick? I think we have some time for this. I'm going to message him. We didn't reach out to the players ahead of time. But if Lewis is available, I'd love to ask him a few questions. Especially because we had our draft. The draft was something everyone was excited for at the start with the new civs. He might not want to share all of his thinking on the draft and thinking on the new civs. That might be something he wants to keep close to the vest, but we'll see if we can get Lewis in here. If not, we obviously have a little bit of time to wait for the next one. Again, I feel like running could have won the second game, but it was very close. Running could have won the first game. It was also very close. A lot of back and forth, but at the end of the day, Does feel like Lewis is just a step up on him. So Lewis has responded here. One sec. Is there a link to the group you're just looking at? If you want to look at the percentages I'm looking at, you can use the TTL command on Twitch, or you can look at the T90 site is what it's pinned as on YouTube. That shows everything that I have there. We also have the new merch there if you want to get the TTL merch, like the mugs. I haven't been representing the merch well because it's actually in the laundry right now. But should have the hoodies on it for the second series because I'm getting kind of cold. You also have Liquipedia to show all the groups and the information there. But yeah, we have a lot of the cool things there on the site. And I keep forgetting we have the matchup stats as well. All right, let's call Lewis real quick. Lewis, hello, my friend. How are you feeling?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I know you were a little nervous, at least that's what you said, because everyone else had got the 3-0 versus running. That maybe if you dropped a game or two, it would look horrible for you in the standings. So you got the job done.
Well, the thing about it, right? If I lose like 1 game or 2 games of running, then it's like my win versus Andy and my win versus ACCM is like not as important, right?
Yep.
Like it doesn't count. So
Yep.
I think winning 3-0 was like super important.
I want to first ask you questions about the draft here, right? Because with the new civs coming in, everyone's been, freaking out. Were you... So you only banned 2 of the new DLC civs, and you waited to the last second. Is it correct to say that you were kind of waiting to see if running would ban them first? How did you approach it?
Because so since I'm the host, I don't want to ban Chinese and Persian since those are like the top 2 civs on Stranded.
Yep.
And maybe even that Regicide map. So I was like, okay, I don't ban those 2, and then I can get 1 of them at least. Or I should get 1, and then the rest of the civs I left them, he wasn't banning them, so I had to start banning them towards the end.
Okay. So do you think Muisca and Tupi are stronger than, say, Incas or Mapuche? Because you banned them. Or do you just are you not as comfortable with them yet because they're still new?
Tupi is... Wait. Let me load the tech tree. I just want to make sure I'm talking about the right one.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
So Tupi is like Ultra Cancer with the super fast like Champy Rush, I think it's called, because they have like extra res and they can build a house and a barracks, everything insta.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which one did I ban?
Muisca.
I think those are the ones with extra armor. Yeah, I played versus this in a practice game. I just couldn't kill. I was playing full knights and they're just killing me. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play against that.
Okay. My impression was that the best civ for the early for the Champy Rush was Incas, just because of the pop space being insane.
Yeah, it's Incas. I think Incas is the most broken civ at the moment because
for that
you build one house. Yeah, you build one house, and then that's all you need to build. You don't have to go for the insta drush thing, right?
Yep.
I can build one house and then build my wood line, like my lumber camp, which counts as 10 pop. And you don't need another house until late Castle Age. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
basically hunts.
The second I saw the balance change, it was my first, because we already saw the early drushing before the settlements, right? So I was like, all right, well,
I'm into that so much.
So, but in the end, we got to see the civilizations played. Game 1, you went with Persians, which was your number 1 pick. We had Hawks incorporated and not Fires. So, like, how much of those engagements felt normal to you, or like comfortable to you?
Honestly, I hate this Hulk edition. Like, it just feels like you just patrol them in, you look away, right? It's like,
hold on.
Fire ships.
Let me play devil's advocate. Is that not similar to Fires?
Not necessarily, because with Fires you have to look out for the demo. But now they've nerfed the demo and it's way more expensive. So it's like, if someone makes a demo, they've lost, you know. My feeling is you just revert the demo and put demos back where they were, and then then it's not as bad. But yeah, I definitely watched Running's demos hit, and I was expecting the demos to get better value for what they are. So he made demos? I didn't see a single. I wasn't even watching. I was just patrolled them in and looked elsewhere.
Well, so he made 2 demos on the left side, but I speculated that it was really hard to tell the difference because they have the same sail, right? Before, very easy to tell the difference between the fire and the demo, but now they have this same exact sail, and like you're doing a million other things when you're playing the game. I was staring directly at it, and it was even tough for me to tell the difference. But yeah, he made 2 demos, and I didn't really get analytical on the cost of it, but yeah, it was not worth it for the numbers. So
thanks for letting me know. Yes. Also, like, it's the similar thing with, I think, Wei, right? You have the Xambi Riders, the Tagakav, and the Hei Guang. They look all very similar.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like units in these new patches look very similar. Where it's like, I remember I had a game versus Andy in TTL on, I think it was Quarry. I forgot the elite upgrades. I didn't know. Like,
yeah, the Quarry game. And
yeah.
I actually didn't even notice when I was casting until you researched elite. I was like, oh shoot. But honestly, I do think a fair amount of that is just literally getting used to it. You weren't playing back then, but when the definitive edition first came out, people who had been playing the earlier versions before the enhanced graphics were really unhappy with the DE graphics. People were like, "Oh my god, all the units look the same. Like champions look like Arbalists look like champions." But then like a little bit of time goes by, and then you just kind of get used to it. So hopefully with some of these things, that'll be the case. Because it's tough for us to have change, right? Because we just play thousands of games with the same things.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think overall the new DLCs, I think like I don't think it's that bad. I think they're somewhat balanced. I think the only issue is the start of the game. Like you just get so much for free, which you don't even see.
Yeah.
Like you can make one of those settlements on a gold, a wood line, and next a deer. And it's like you have 3 for 1. It's like Japanese basically. Yeah, Japanese on steroids, right?
The early games are very strong for the new civs. Agreed with you. I think the late games probably not quite as strong, but you know, for this level, you're probably going to see the early game be the reason you pick them. But I want to move on.
Sorry, go on.
I want to move on to game number 2, real quick. First off, this is a very specific thing. Did you realize you almost got your units trapped by a relic when you killed that monk next to the wood line?
I think I know what you mean, but I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, so basically, if you got extremely unlucky, you had like 5 Janbeis that came forward at the top of that little hill next to Running's base, and you killed the monk with the relic, right?
Yeah.
When you shot the monk with the relic, we almost had this ridiculous clip because you were in a 1-tile choke, and if the monk would have dropped the relic in the tile in front of you, I pretty sure your units would have been trapped by the relic. And you never know where the monks are going to throw the relics, right? So there was a chance it would have happened. I was wondering if
Sorry, go on.
I was just wondering if that was ever in your mind at all. Probably not.
No, I'm not sure how the relic drop works. Like, does that one relic cover that entire tile so I cannot move at all, or is it like half a tile?
I think it can be. I think it can be dropped on half a tile, so it would depend. But like that game where MBL walled with the relic in Red Bull, where you, like an idiot, and then you picked up the relic and ran in. Clearly, you could like just straight up block armies from moving. So if it was, I thought that was a funny moment. But like beyond that, more seriously, did you think you were in trouble when you saw a Zimp time there, and then he started to have some Hussars raiding you, and you had very low army?
No, like I was originally planning to go all in like Castle Age with the Tiger Cav and like some pikes or something, but I kind of messed up my economy so bad. I played that game macro-wise terribly. Like I think I made like 1 TC in my little section, then I made the second TC there, then I made the third TC on the back, and I had like no space for farms. I was on like 20 farms the entire game until I started expanding out to the sides. So,
but like if he continues to pressure the right hand side, from my perspective with Hussars, you had like no space to build your barracks. That he left that right hand side. If he applies continuous pressure there, my assessment was it's not over, of course. You still probably have the lead, but it would have been problematic for you. It did seem like a really awkward minute or two.
Yeah. I just know, like, in this matchup, if I get to Tagicav plus help, he can't do anything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing he can make. It's
Yeah.
the same when you play Persians, right?
Yep.
You get the Savar help, then...
Yep, and you're just
turns
buying
on
yourself
anything.
time. Yep, okay. And then game 3, I mean, game 3 went for the early build. I think running just went super high risk, high reward. I'm sure his spirit was a little bit broken. So not much I can really ask you about that one, to be honest.
I think if I only made one Champy Warrior and then my like main one, I could have gotten to the back of his base and maybe done some damage, right? But I think I waited for my third one.
Yeah.
I had to delay it a little bit. So I think if I just went with 2, then it's probably better.
Okay.
So I can actually like hit things, right?
Well, we don't have the sets today, but I'll ask you what your predictions are for your group then for this round. Nikov Sebastian and then ACCM freaking Andy. You're probably rooting for... Well, tell me both. Tell me what you expect and also kind of what you want to happen here, because it's tough for you. You want to pass people, but everyone can pass you, so...
Nikov Sebastian, I'd expect maybe like a 2-1 Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like a 2-1 Nikov.
Yep.
And then Andy ACCM, I'd like a 3-0 Andy. That'd be nice as well. So it puts everyone very close to each other.
Well, I don't know if you're doing this, but I know some players in silver and gold, the second they play somebody in round 1 and round 2, they immediately are training with the person they just played, because it only benefits them to improve those players to help them throughout the rest of the group stage. So something to consider. Maybe send all your OP strategies to Andy and Nikov. See how that works out.
I gotta save them for Nikov and Sebastian.
Oh yeah, true. I guess in this case it would only be Andy, right? Because you already played Andy, so.
Yeah, I mean, I have the head-to-head of Andy, so, and also he's 0-2, I think so.
Yeah. So you're in a good spot.
I want Nikov to win, and I want Andy to win for sure, because if they can keep ACCM and Sebastian down, then maybe I have a chance of winning the group. Who knows?
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I just wanted to hop in and hear your thoughts. We have a little bit of time before the next series, Leary versus Tato. Congratulations. I can tell you're playing very well and you're very prepared. So appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
I'll let you go, Lewis. Take care.
Yeah.
Good luck in the rest of TTL.
Right. See you later. Bye-bye. See you.
All right, guys. Salute to chat for Lewis, please. He's playing very well, man. I know he's prepped. I know he's putting a lot of time into it. You could just, with his play style, I find that Lewis is very chill. I feel like if things start to go wrong for him, he's just like, nah, been there, done that. I can handle it. So, yeah, he's an impressive player to watch. He could definitely do some big things in the group. Leary and Tato are drafting right now. So we will have that series coming up here very shortly. I'll switch the scoreboard over and switch the draft over now. They're currently picking the maps. It'll be Tato on the right side and Leary on the left side. So I know my scoreboard's not up right yet, but just keep that in mind. It'll be Stranded and Slopes again. All right. Only Stranded is Tato's home map. And game number 1 could be a few options here. They go through a lot of bands before. Hello, YouTube chat. Nice to have so many people watching live on YouTube, man. I was really uncertain. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. I've streamed on YouTube before, of course, but like doing so consistently every single day, no clue what to expect. Everyone's been very kind. Everyone's been very supportive. Obviously, fair amount of trolling and jokes as well from YouTube, which is the same as on Twitch. But yeah, for those that have been watching there, thank you. The Twitch, thanks for still having my back. Thanks for being here too, of course. It's been fun. This is where things start to get really serious in the groups, right? We've got Leary undefeated so far with 6 wins, and we have Tato with 5 wins. So winner here, probably the front runner for this group. It's going to be High Tides game 1, Stranded, and Slopes as the home maps. I'm laughing, though, because I'm just thinking about Leary with new things. Leary's like, I really don't think Leary's going to want anything to do with these new civs, man. I'll ask the same thing that I asked you guys before the earlier draft. How many of the DLC civs / Incas, I guess, I'm including Incas in that because they've been reworked. How many actually make it through the bans? Give me a number. A lot of chatters said 0 earlier, and they were wrong. Okay? My point was there's still lots of good civs in the game, and it's very map dependent. And as a player, okay, Leary, no hesitation. Okay, well, there's one ban. Insta bans Muisca. I like how there was also 0 hesitation. Let's see how fast he bans. Okay, Mapuche ban. Leary doesn't give a shit, dude. Leary doesn't give a shit. Oh my god. Does he go Incas next? He's not even thinking about it. Does he go Incas next? I mean, I still think Incas are insane. Like, if Incas... So here's the thing. Leary gets first pick. So if Incas is the best civ in the game, right? He should leave it. He shouldn't ban it. Also, fun fact, we had a series in Gold. I've only been told this. It was a series that will be covered as recorded games, apparently. But it was played like yesterday or something. And neither player had bought the DLC yet. So neither player, I think, picked or banned. They told the other, hey, I don't have the DLC. The other guy was like, me either. And they didn't pick or ban any of the civs because they did not have the DLC. They basically made a gentleman's agreement not to pick or ban them. But that's weird for us, right? Like, if a player makes gentleman's agreement to not pick or ban something, and then someone goes against the gentleman's agreement, like, we just have to say, like, sorry, like, he just outplayed you, right? Like, what do we do? So it was good sportsmanship, but technically you could make that gentleman's agreement and not follow it, and there's, like, no, like, real thing we can do about it. Yeah, Tato bans Incas. Okay, so Tato's like, nope, don't want Leary to get that. So we will have none of the new civs in this series. Now Leary has to think through his options here. How could either of them have picked the new civs if they don't have the DLC? I'm just saying that someone could have said that, right? Like, it's not like the other guy verifies the other one doesn't have the DLC downloaded, so. Dravidians, Vietnamese, and Georgians. Moodses are the new civs that strong. They have a very strong early game. I would say a few of them are definitely strong enough where if it makes you a little uneasy. So, like, Inca early game is just ridiculous. I think Incas will probably no longer be played depending on how the players want to ban it. Muisca, Mapuche, Tupi, they all have very good early bonuses. Now, at a high level, if you can get early advantages, it can be game over, so. T90, I think lying should be against the rules. Well, I think this isn't actually a scenario we need to worry about because it didn't happen, so. It was a gentleman agreement. They were both gentlemen, so we don't need to go down that hypothetical road here. Leary picking Vikings, huh? You know what? Vikings get fires now, right? With the water change. So maybe you can play Vikings on Stranded instead of just playing straight galleys. Do Vikings get Hulks? It feels so weird that Vikings don't get fires now. I'm going to check the Viking tech tree as they're drafting here. Don't they get demos as well or something? What is it? So they don't get demos. They get Hulks. They get fires. They get war galleys. Yeah, you can play Vikings here, no problem then. And they nerfed demos. So I think Well, let's poll the chat. Type a 1 if you're very on board with them nerfing demolition chips, and type a 2 if you feel like that's a weird move. Poor devs. They think they probably tried to balance their new boats here. But, yeah, I'm seeing a whole lot of 2s. Yeah. In the one engagement we saw earlier where running made demos, it felt like a complete waste of time. So, Tato, he was the first to complain about it. Maybe that's something that will need to be tweaked at some point. But yeah, Vikings should be a really good civ on Stranded. Maybe even High Tides you could play Vikings now. Vikings can kind of play hybrid now. Damn, are Vikings one of the best hybrid civs out there? Maybe they are. All right, I'm going to call Ornlu. Ornlu's casting the second set with me. Last time I covered games with Ornlu, I forgot to call him. Horrible. So we're going to call Ornlu, hear Ornlu's thoughts on the Vikings here. Watch our second series of the day, Leary Tato. Hello, Ornlu.
Hello, Mr. T90.
I saw Vikings on the draft, and I had to double-check the tech tree a little bit, you know, just to get a feel. It's wild. I think Vikings can be really good on hybrid maps now.
Oh, yeah, they are going to be top tier. I mean, not only do you get fire ships out of nowhere, but you also get the counter to fire ships as well. So you just get that nice discount. It is a little bit less percentage-wise than it was in ye old days, but still having that flexibility with the double discount on the docks and warships is super good.
Yeah. Yeah, and Leary, he clearly banned out some of the new civs, but clearly he factored in some of the new changes, which shows that he's up to speed on things. So you like to see that.
Or he's not at all up to speed and just doesn't want to deal with anything new.
Well, I think that's also part of it, right? I think players are products of hundreds of games, thousands of games. It's new, it's uncertain, and if Leary can control everything, Leary can beat anybody. So I think for him, he just didn't want any wacky stuff he hadn't faced yet, which makes sense. Leary is 6 wins right now after 2 rounds. Tato is 5 wins. So very likely whoever wins this is the front runner for first place in the group. After this round, they will both only have 2 rounds to play. Good opponents to come, but yeah, one of the biggest sets of TTL season so far.
Oh, yeah. So thanks for having me on for it. Really looking forward to it. I still think Leary's the favorite. I think that Leary's just going to be the favorite against anybody except Hera.
Yeah.
And he's certainly been dominant so far. Like, from what I've seen, not only has he won, but the matches have not looked even close whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Tato can keep up. He did have a strong result in beating Barles, who is another very, very good player. But, and then beating Lex, of course, is nice as well. But Leary's going to be another caliber of opponent.
Yeah, and for those that like don't know the whole like story of Leary's career, right? Like he was insanely good at a very young age. This was a crazy long time ago. And then he was always getting second place, which is kind of the story these days too.
Yeah.
But there was a period where it was clear like Leary he isn't doing the small things, right? He's not getting the relics. He's not playing towards late game very well. He's not being patient. He was just so good that he could play towards crossbowmen and arbalest and beat you. But these days, man, it's like all the tiny little nuanced things that you have to do at high-level AoE, he's doing as well. So it's really amazing to see, as far as I know, not full-time AoE like many of our top pros, and he's putting in the time.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to the sheer talent he has. He's always struck me as just one of the most naturally gifted AoE players we've ever had.
Yeah.
And like, you probably remember this, like his first like splash on the scene when he beat Viper in that best of 1 many, many years ago now. And it's like, even back then, everyone was like, oh man, this guy's good. And he really has the chance to be a top level player. And he really has. He's never really dipped below that top 4 or 5 for a decade now.
You want to get an idea though of how inactive these guys are on ranked, right? Everyone loves ranked. Everyone likes to talk about elo. My uncle has played hundreds of games, and he's a massive noob, and he's 63 years old. Tato and Leary, who have been around for 10 plus years, I guess on the definitive edition, so the last 7 years, have played 1 ranked game against each other. 1. And it went to Leary, okay? That is how little both of these players, they just train for tournaments. They will occasionally play a ranked game here or there, but they really just don't play ranked much at all. In Titans League, they faced 3 times. Leary has won 2 sets. Tato has won 1. In tournaments, it's gone 15-8 with sets. So that's a lot of times they faced each other. There's, of course, the one ranked game. And then the predicted outcome we have here, I guess, based on all the data we have, is Leary 2-1. My prediction was Leary 2-1. And the community prediction with the prediction contest, 63% also voted Leary 2-1. So not sure what you think.
I think that's really the safe bet. I think Leary is just such a well-rounded player, and he's not really going to make any mistakes. And if there's anything that Tato can do, it's get a little too cute at times.
Yeah.
Trying to like really force a fight that maybe he shouldn't have, or try and like go for like a fast age up when you really want to play a bit more macro. And so it's going to be, I think, a little bit tricky against Leary, but strategically Tato can, beat Leary that way. So it's still, I think, very competitive.
Yeah, I think also the ban, we talked about the civs and the bans. Very smart from Leary to ban new things with Tato. Like Tato is the guy to come out with the strategies. Many strategies that ended up being meta in the future were because Tato had started it at some point. So we are into it here. I'm going to switch the colors up. We're going to put Leary in the blue for this and Tato in the red. But probably, this is probably the biggest series so far in Titans League Season 5. We're at round 3 now. Leary sitting at 6 wins. Tato sitting at 5 wins. So winner of this play all 3 likely going to be the front runner for top of the group. A reminder, if you're top of the group, you get a bye past the round of 12 into the quarterfinals. And I think most importantly, once those playoffs come around, Orlu, you're then separated from all the other group winners. So you can, in theory, avoid some really tough matchups early on. So Tato as the Romans, Leary as the Dravidians here on High Tides.
Yep, very standard map to start things off. I mean, I think this is the most played map in TTL.
Yep.
At least that's what I would guess. Players love their aggressive hybrid maps, and this one is just a known quantity at this point. It's been in your tournaments for a long time now, obviously with small adjustments here and there. But these guys know exactly what's going on with it, and 2 strong aggressive civs here with Dravidians and Romans to kick things off.
Yeah, so both infantry civs, both civilizations have played infantry very consistently throughout this tournament. Infantry, then archer is the normal standard land follow-up. But I'm just kind of thinking about it like, is that what Tato wants? Do you want a situation where you're playing archers against Leary? You're going for the same build against Leary? What is there something Tato can maybe do to leverage the Roman bonuses, or maybe the new water changes to just punch Leary in the mouth early on here?
I think that might be a good idea. I mean, to be fair, how can you not leverage the Roman eco bonus? I mean, you can try really hard, but short of idling your villagers, I don't think there's any way you can not leverage the Roman eco bonus.
That's fair.
But beyond that, I think that what makes Dravidian so strong for Leary is they're not a civ you can get the jump on. They're so fast. They're so strong in both the land and water in early feudal age that if that is something that Tato wanted to do, I feel like Dravidians are going to be a tough civ to do it against.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think with that 5% greater efficiency bonus, I think maybe you just are the one to defend in early feudal. You don't get the additional wood like the Dravidians get. You don't get the cheaper barracks technology. So yeah, there's just really not a lot you can do to get the jump. But if it's even with the damage dealt in mid-feudal, I guess there you maybe benefit the Romans a little bit. And the thing about this map that could be an issue for the Dravidians long-term, usually this map does require a lot of mobility. There's the north, there's the south, there's a lot of openness through the middle. So Dravidians struggle there as they're an infantry and archer civ.
Yeah, Dravidians don't do things on horseback very well. Not too good there in the jungles of southern India. And that makes sense. That said, if the game goes long, which we see high tides either end really fast or go really long, at least that's what I've noticed so far this season. If you can get in the long game, defending the choke points and the hills in the middle with castles, and then sort of bouncing back and forth with a big blob of archers and infantry, does feel like a way you can approach this in the late game as Leary.
Yeah, now Tato has this tendency. Hold on, Tato's bringing his Vil. I think he wants to loom up and wall this in. Leary doesn't have loom on the way, so Leary thought he would be fine. Ooh. Leary gets the quick walls there. Nice early shenanigans here. But if they'll let me complete my thought here, Tato loves to go all in Castle Age. So I think you need to end this before this ends up going to the Imperial Age. blocks happening for Tato. He'll kill the Vil.
Yeah, loses the scout, though. I don't think there's any way you can save it now.
Yeah.
Just try to get that one last hit in. That's it. The scout is only at 6 HP, so it's not going to be anything that devastating. That said, I love the early kill there. I do think that, okay, we look at, is a Vil kill worth losing your early scout? I think on this map in particular, you could argue it is, because that Vil won't be there to repair.
Well, I agree. And then also the second dock, right? The second dock is usually a very common strategy, and it's normally that villager that does it. That doesn't mean Leary can't just bring another Vil. But yeah, and the other side of that too is we already talked about what's expected from Leary. Most likely going to be Man-at-Arms and Archers. So I think Tato, he just thinks through this. He's like, well, I could lose the scouting intel. I'm going to wall as if I'm going to be pressured by Man-at-Arms anyways. And as long as he doesn't make a mistake in not prepping for that, I think that's probably a good start for him.
Yeah, this feels like a Civ matchup where you can just blindly open defensive skirmishers or archers or, some combination thereof and feel pretty safe against what Dravidians are doing. That said, Leary's early build is very good. He's already going to have his 5th fishing ship out. Tato is only going to be on 3, and that's going to do a great job of mitigating for those early losses on the villager, as another one is going to be joining here in the north. Yeah,
and so pretty clearly Leary's not playing Man-at-Arms. It's funny, maybe if Tato had his scout, he would have gone Man-at-Arms, but now, Tato has to defend from it. Maybe Tato's expecting it, so he chooses to instead just go for the heavy water. Tato is blind, of course, to what Leary will do, and he will go for the early barracks and Man-at-Arms, which Leary did see, so I think with the barracks timing, he should be aware of what's to come here.
Yeah, still not aware of the second dock just yet is Tato. Militia are going to make their way out onto the map. Not going to get lucky with the scout pathfinding into the militia, so Leary, he is going to know exactly what's going on. He knows that if your opponent is going for the men-at-arm play, chances of them having a second dock as well are very low. So Leary can feel pretty confident that he has a great shot at winning water here as 2 fire galleys are immediately queued up.
Is that the play here, though? Aren't Hawks good against fires? Shouldn't he be going Hawks here with the new water balance? I'm not sure. I haven't seen the...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like a week ago, yeah, fires, but now you get Hawks, and everyone should be aware of that. Leary obviously banned some of the new civs in his draft, but if 1 dock Hawks could beat 2 docks fires, this could actually be really problematic for Leary. I just haven't seen it enough. Leary's got his work cut out for him. Early tower on the back, early walls on the back because of the man-at-arms.
Yeah, this is already a good early defense here from Leary. Having all those back resources really does help in that aspect, and going for the back gold is part of that. I mean, you have the Vil here. You can block with your fishing ship. Hulks also train faster than fire galleys do, which is another benefit of the unit. And it looks like
Tato needs that. He needs the repair.
Oh, not quite enough there.
Remember, the dock also fires arrows now, but it has minimum range. So if the units are right next to the dock, they can't end up going for the attack. But I mean, this completely changes hybrid, right? I was more excited for this than the new civs, just to see how is water going to work on a map like this, because normally 2 docks beats 1, game over, right? But here, I guess it is 2 docks versus 2, but Tato is able to use some damage control, and Leary's just really forcing it, which so far might end up being the play, but let's see how many units he actually survives with.
Yeah, I think Leary was going for fire ships and then literally remembered, oh, wait, Hulks are a thing now.
Yeah, I think he did.
That really is what it feels like.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But keep in mind, guys, Hulks have very low pierce armor. Yes, they are the ship to go for in this situation because they counter fire ships, and galleys are awful in these close water situations. But they have 1 pierce armor, and docks have 3 base pierce, and they get 3 bonus damage against ships. So it's really a lot of damage that these docks dish out to the Hulks.
Man, there's been so much activity on the water here. I expected an earlier archer range from Tato. He didn't do that. He's actually going for the blacksmith. But this is what Tato likes to do sometimes. He likes to go a little bit off the meta. He's clearly trying to remain competitive on water here. But this is where I would like... I guess maybe this is why they nerf demos, because they don't want a demo here to just rock Leary. But it feels like with what we used to have with the balance, that demos in these situations would be the normal play. No demos in queue for either player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like wondering if Tatu might want to try and flip the fishing ships over to the other dock so they start firing, and that's exactly what he did. Hulk's taking a lot of damage there. We have the infantry armor upgrade for Tatu, but he only has 2 swordsmen in the first place, and they're kind of weak, so that's not going to be too big of a deal. And now Leary's going to have archers on the field, and you really need your own archery range to deal with enemy archers. It's really tough to play AoE these days and not go for an archery range whatsoever in Feudal Age.
Tato is just being so stubborn, though, right? Like, he did such a good job. He still hasn't lost all of his fishing ships. He's still keeping them around. Leary will have to dedicate so much more time and focus onto the water than he was really hoping for. I think Leary's still doing a really good job at that. But even with it being Leary, usually the archer player is going to have a really tough time taking down Roman armored infantry when he also has to micro with the Hulks. And there's the example of it. His first 2 archers get hit a little. Really nice play from both players here as we see the Hulk Fest continue.
Yeah, Tato not patrolling in there for a moment. Forging is coming in. Still very... Actually, does it matter? No, it doesn't. Because remember, guys, Hulk's got nerfed from the Thalassocracy Cup patch. So they now only have 4 base attack instead of 5. So that means that because Hulks deal melee damage, you're running into the 4 melee armor of the other Hulks. And because of the minimum 1 damage in AoE 2, you're going from 1 damage to 1 damage. So I don't think that should matter.
Wow, yeah, I mean, I think you're right on that, right? Just looking at the stats. If it goes to 4+1, it changes nothing.
Yeah.
So, but the Thalassocracy Cup was how they tested the balance. They obviously made the changes. But Leary's investment there, I mean, Tato's getting forging as well. But at least Tato's investment is going to have an investment onto the Man-at-Arms. And I got to say, these docks have just been wrecking here. There's 8 kills on the docks. Great job from Tato to use that the new feature, new bonus.
Yeah, and I think it's a way that you can counteract the fact that you don't have as easy a comeback mechanism on the water with demos being weaker than they used to be.
Yeah.
So at the very least, you can garrison the fishing ships and utilize that as a, defensive play so that if you're a little bit behind in ship numbers, it's not like immediately over. So it's a little bit of a different way, more consistent, but less high ceiling, I'd say, than it used to be.
The thing is, though, there's still this continuous issue for Tato, and it's that Leary's just on archers and doing very well with the archer numbers. So Leary getting to crossbowman can still end this game. Tato spent a lot of his food on that. Now it's Leary's turn. Leary's like, you showed me the way. I'll just garrison my fish now. And the arrow fire's not quick. It's very subtle, but subtle differences can obviously make a bit of a difference in close battles. But I'm just a little surprised that Tato made as many Man-at-Arms as he did. He will hit the berries now, but so far he has not had any value from them. And of course, he finds the value after I say that, and he'll kill 2 villagers.
That is nice, but Tato's army can be dealt with much more easily than Leary's army can right now, as we have, 6 archers now in the base of Tato. Those quick house walls are essential. But this is, what we were saying. There is no good answer to archers without your own, skirmisher play.
Yeah.
And just going in one by one with those skirmishers. They have padded archer armor, so at least they're a bit tankier, but still the numbers are not in his favor. Tato's still trying to keep this game messy, though.
Yeah, we talked about the worker efficiency. So often, if the KD is the eco KD is 7-2 for the Romans, it will be 1,000 resources collected ahead. But here, because Leary's macro has been so smooth, Leary is 500 resources collected ahead. So that just tells you how good Leary is at controlling the game. And there he goes, on the way to Castle Age.
And he's actually getting his own Men-at-Arms upgrade, so Dravidians do have a pretty smooth transition into the Longswordsman, but, I mean, honestly, is it going to even matter all that much? He's getting so much damage done here, and because he spent so little food, right? He didn't go for Men-at-Arms, he didn't go for skirmishers, he just went for ships and archers, and got the farms down quickly. The food eco was just never really touched. He had more fishing ships in the first place than Tato, and so with all of the chaos that Tato's created, it just hasn't fundamentally really done anything in terms of putting Leary behind economically.
Yeah, now if Tato can use the market and get up soon, maybe there's still some advantages for him, but I agree. This is exactly why everyone predicted Leary to win the series. He's just so good. And honestly, there's a lot of potential long-term problems with his base setup. His main gold's forward, his berries he didn't take, but he's just stuck to that back wood line and the gold underneath the tower. He's obviously held on water. Can you tell me, Orlu, is the cost... Do you remember the cost of the warships upgrade? Because I don't have that memorized yet.
I've 150 wood, 100 gold, I think. It's fairly cheap, but it now costs wood instead of food.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's really realistic then. I think Leary should be considering getting that just to continually snowball the advantage he already has on water. The Tato's counterattack will be a little too late. Leary got Man-at-Arms, and then he built a stable. Like, he wants to make elephants anyways. So I think he's a little indecisive on what his Castle Age army choice is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the elephant will obviously kill any of these feudal age units, no problem. He immediately queues one up upon reaching Castle Age. More Hulks are here in the amazing Hulk-on-Hulk action that is going to be dominating AoE 2 indefinitely.
Yeah. Well, replace the fire ships, but also the demos don't do nearly as much, it seems. That demo from Tato did not recover the fight very nicely for him at all. And there's the warships upgrade, and with that, I think Tato has lost the water. He's got no chance of holding it, and Tato actually taps out. Honestly, he sees the elephant. He still wasn't really on the way to Castle Age. And Leary just... I mean, there was a lot of action there. Can we just appreciate that it's 36 kills and 34 deaths? That was a crazy game to end basically before much happens in Castle Age, but Leary just so clean throughout all the chaos. His eco management is just so good.
Not only is the eco management so good, but the fact is that Leary had the earlier fishing ship, so he had an eco lead over Romans before the fishing ship kills came in. And then you're just in this situation where you have to get so much damage done as the guy going for the more land-focused approach that's why I always am a little weary of these sorts of more land-focused plays, because the threshold of it, like an acceptable amount of damage done, is so much higher.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think part of it for Tato comes to the value from the Man-at-Arms. He got armor on Man-at-Arms. He produced, how many of them here? 9, right? The difference in the game, maybe if he stays on 3, he has a competitive Castle Age time here. It's not like Tato didn't have as much food. He had more food, but he spent a lot of the food on those units. It's just the margins are so slim when the players are this good, and these are two of the very best. That's ridiculous, man. I had so much I wanted to talk about with balance, and we barely ever had time because of the action.
It was stuff happening from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, Tato, I think he would recognize he's played Leary enough times. Obviously, Leary's going to bring that type of level to a map like High Tides. He goes for Stranded now, which will be more water conversation. That's for damn sure. But Leary undefeated so far, 7-0 in TTL 5.
My concern for Stranded is that it's very similar to High Tides. It's an aggressive hybrid map.
Yeah.
So your ability to have a cleaner or Dark Age and your ability to leverage these very fine advantages in Feudal Age are usually what decide the game. And that's obviously what happened in the last game. And now we could be seeing something similar here. And also, that's what Leary is best at, right? Getting those fractional advantages in the early game.
The key difference, though, is in the previous game, if you lose the front of your base for a little while, it's okay because you have the same amount of, like, similar amounts of gold and wood and everything all in the back, right? You can boom back into the back corner, no problem. But on this map, if you tower the back of your base and you lose the middle hill and you lose the wood lines, the list goes on, it can be really dangerous. Interesting civ choice from Tato. I'm curious on if he tested this. I've seen this a couple times. Not the biggest fan. Also, viewers, sometimes we have people title their lobbies with their player's name. Sometimes we have people title their lobbies with, like, official text. Here, Leary has titled the lobby ASD, FASD, FASD, FA. So, yeah, gotta love the differences there.
Yep.
Guy's 7-0, by the way, and that's his lobby title here. But yeah, Stranded game 2. Leary's playing as the Italians, a very good water civ, and then Tato is playing as the Huns. What do you think about the Huns on this map?
Well, on the one hand, you can get the Hunnic horse to go pick up all those water buffalo, which is amazing because you can delay farming a ton with it. On the other hand, you can't go for a dock right away.
Yeah.
And that means that your fishing ship that you start with is very sad because it can only sail around and watch the more productive fishing ship of your opponent.
That's literally what he's doing as well. He's actually just sailing around with it. Yeah, so I've talked to some players since I saw this from Mr. Yo against Hera. And I think a lot of people have Huns being good on this map in their minds because there was a slightly different version of Stranded with a 9 villager start. And Huns were really good there. So, because when I've talked to people, some people have been like Hart showed up in my chat and said, Huns are sick here, right? But then I started to have more conversations, and I was like, well, how are they on like the 3 villager start? Have you tested it? And they're like, well, it should be the same. I'm not fully convinced. I feel like with the way the drafts play out, you need to be absolutely certain your civ is dominant. I feel like there's better civs for it, but basically you have to take the wood, recover the wood to eventually get a dock, get over there, drop a dock, and you're hoping to not too far behind economically, and then that this horse changes the game with the scouting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good sort of mid-run bonus, right? It's a disadvantage in the very early game because you're behind in resources. It's an advantage once you get to like mid-feudal age because you can delay the farming. But when it comes to a very aggressive map like this one, I take the bonus that applies faster every single time.
Yeah, but let's keep a close eye on it, right? Mr. Yo, It didn't look too good, but maybe Tato's got this build down pat here. Leary will bring in his first elephant. Leary's got a lot of elephants around as well. He's got 2 more elephants very close by, plus a lot of water buffalo.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of food to get going. Italians have that cheaper age up, and he'll be able to go up quickly and make lots of hulks, or go for men-at-arms, or any sort of variation thereof.
Did you happen to see the silver set of Bad Koala versus Nahwell?
I don't think I saw that one.
Okay. So Bad Koala, I know you know him, but I described him as a player who just kind of shows up and YOLOs. Like, I don't think he's a player who necessarily is super practiced or prepped. He's been around forever. His style is very unique, right?
Yes,
he picked Huns on this map. And then, as you know, when the TC completes, your horse just kind of like pops out and it's right next to the TC. And he put 2 of his villagers inside of the TC and tried to rally them on top of his horse to eat it like it was a llama or a sheep.
Oh, no!
Multiple times.
Oh, guys.
Like 3 different times I saw the villagers hop in and out and like appear next to the horse before he realized, oh, shoot, I'm Huns. I can't eat that. I got to scout with it.
Oh, no.
And then he won the game. And then he won the game.
Horses are friends.
Like, it's crazy, man. I was losing my mind. I was like, how does that even happen? The reason the Huns can be solid here is because of the horse. But I got to say, I mean, we talked about the downsides. The experience that I had previously, it looked really bad for Mr. Yo because he was 4 or 5 eco down. But Tato's only 1 eco down, if that. And he will have all the water buffaloes on the map if he uses the horse properly.
Yeah, it's currently 4 to 6 in water buffalo numbers. That said, it's not an issue for Leary, right? Because this map is still designed and balanced around you not having the Hunnic horse.
Yeah.
So there's still tons of food here in the early game, and so long as Leary's able to make it to feudal age, it feels like he's going to be totally fine. Because he has extra fishing ships, it's 5 to 4-ish. And he'll be able to go for water control, and the chances of Tato being competitive against Leary on the water in early feudal age seem pretty low.
Well, I'm curious on that because Tato did scout with his horse, and he knows the dock position. And oftentimes players are pretty much on the opposite side of this circular map, but here the dock positions are very close together. So
no, he actually scouted it with the fishing ship T90, right?
Oh, what was it? I don't know. Maybe it was.
That no, he actually stopped with the fishing ship. You're right, it is the horse, just based off the scouting pattern.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he scouted it with the fishing ship and then he scouted it with the horse as well. I'm not sure, but Tato will go second dock. Tato will have that knowledge. Leary will not. So maybe Leary's thinking about some type of fast castle, but I think more often than not from the platinum players, we've seen super fast feudal times. It clicks for the Italian bonuses. It is much cheaper. And he gets a lumber camp up. And there he goes. Fast feudal age.
Yeah, it seems like when a map is introduced, there are obviously lots of different ways people will try and approach it because there is no hard and fixed meta. Over time, though, as the maps get more figured out, it feels like players will always gravitate towards these faster openings as that poor Hunnic horse is not going to be eaten, but is still going to die. But I don't know what you think, T90, that it feels like these maps will always eventually gravitate towards fast feudal.
I don't know. If anything, I think it's gone a little bit the other way for me. Like,
really?
Initially, we used to see fast feudals with 3 to 4 fish. And then people were like, okay, we can get away with adding more eco. And at least in, like, it depends on the caliber of player, of course, but I am amazed at the amount of fast castle we're seeing in the other leagues. But I guess here, yeah, it's like once people figure out how they can streamline a build, I guess fast feudal has been the only strategy. But Tato lost his horse. He's going fast castle, but if there's ever a point where he doesn't have the food underneath the TCs, I'm going to be really concerned here because losing that horse is really painful. If he would have avoided that area, he knew that Leary must have been close because he had scouted the dock position. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 different buffalo. That's over 1,000 food that Tato could still have waiting underneath the TC.
And that is quite significant because, as we keep saying, the chances of you keeping those fishing ships alive is fairly low. Leary now in the feudal age, he is, of course, not queuing up any ships because that would make us look like we know what we're talking about. Instead, he's just going for an archery rig.
Yeah, I was going to say, as you're saying it, I'm about to jump in here and be like, actually, he isn't going for 2 docks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go archers. Well, I'm sure in Leary's mind, he was also thinking through what the Huns are going to try here. And he probably came to the conclusion that Huns would try fast castle cab archer. But saying that, I'm still not completely certain on Tato's approach here. I actually kind of feel like he might add a stable just because he doesn't have a lot of gold right now.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a market because you're not going to have anywhere near enough gold for Castle Age.
Well,
so it should be market.
He can't market because he didn't mill, right? So that you're kind of stuck there. I think Tato's just a little late to the golds, basically. I think it's fine.
Well, he grabbed Loom.
Yeah.
But maybe he was, like, sensing that, okay, I lost my Hunnic horse. I don't know if my opponent is doing anything aggressive on the land, and I just would rather be later up to Castle Age than to be caught without Loom. And I think that's just a decision you can go for.
You know what I think Tato's going to try here? Because this dock garrison completely changes the game, right? Leary has to move on to go find the other fish. These fish can go back to work, and then you could turn around and do the same thing with the next dock. I feel like Tato's just adding the scout for map control, and he's going to just go full water in castle.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a possibility. I mean, I just like having the scout in the first place just because knowing what your opponent is doing is very helpful.
Yeah.
And, of course, he takes a downhill spearman hit because feels bad, man. And yet, it's a lot of bills on gold. He still has good 1,200-ish food under the TC, so he can go for some knights. So he can take back map control. That said, fast castle into knights so far in TTL have been not great in terms of results.
Yeah. Well,
so let's see.
To any confused viewers, new update. They introduced new civs, which were not going to be played in this series, but now you have the Hulks instead of the Fires as the choice for early feudal. You do still have Fires. Fires are good against Galleys. Galleys are supposed to be good against Hulks, but I think the nature of Galleys, the fact that you need those upgrades and it takes some time to mass them, still makes them a unit that's not super justifiable here. But when you garrison inside the docks, you save your fish. You no longer just completely lose water right away against early pressure. And it gives you time to recover on water, which you never really had before. So, still people are getting used to the Hulks. Some people love it, some people hate it, but interesting. And again, we have forging for Tato. So does he think that because the Hulks are melee, that in a Hulk v Hulk engagement, forging actually helps?
I mean, to be fair, I haven't tested it. I don't know if you have.
No,
I just realized it right now.
Yeah.
There's been so many things to actually try and digest with this patch that it's going to take all of us as a community a little while to figure out what exactly is going to be optimal, but I don't think it should matter.
I mean, it doesn't from the eyeball test I just did, so maybe that's enough. That seems like the same amount of damage as Leary was doing, but once you get warships, maybe forging then does apply, because the Hulks should get an increased base attack, I believe.
Well, they didn't previously, right? All the way from Hulk up to Karak, they all had 5 attack, and it was you get increased attack speed.
Ah, interesting. All right, well, we'll find out. Leary hasn't clicked up the Castle Age yet. Siege Workshop is there. That villager can easily get sniped. Leary's still harassing Tato's fish. Tato's still garrisoning. Tato's essentially hoping that the upgraded Hulks will be superior. Did he cancel?
He didn't. Yeah, he canceled it.
He canceled the upgrade. Okay. Interesting. And his villager did get pushed off the Siege Workshop. So then he just got forging for the knights, essentially. He probably felt like forging went both ways. It seems like that's what Tato wanted in the previous game as well. But the Siege Workshop will complete, and the Mangonels up, or Mangonels will be out soon, or Rams, and Leary's still 2 minutes away from Castle Age here.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not that bad for Tato. Like, yes, his eco is worse, for sure. But it could be a lot worse, and if we were on the old patch, he would have lost almost all his fishing ships.
It would be
and he would
over.
Be in, like, all-in mode.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, he's just a little bit behind, and he just has to get some damage on. That said, the fishing ships are now starting to go down, and Tato still is not actually set up to win water, although Leary is forced to invest a lot into it.
Yeah, well, this Mangonel is going to make things interesting, though, because Leary could lose his archer range pretty easily here. He could also lose all the villagers there. Tato has 5 knights already. Tato will also add monks behind this. And let's not forget, Tato does not need to fish because he has a lot of those buffaloes. So we question the Huns start. We've now reached the mid-game. This is where the Huns can be extremely dangerous. Leary needs to be on point with his defense right now.
I mean, everyone's favorite horror movie, Five Nights at Leary's. It's scary, man. These guys are taking down that archery range fast. He's going to lose a lot of his Castle Age timing potential. All the archers are actually going to get sniped as well. And the Mangonel here, too. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, so archers are just not something you can go for anymore now. Knights are a non-factor. The stone walls were huge. Without the stone walls, those knights are through. Your eco gets pressured immediately. Lovely choice from Leary because he has the fish eco and still got some food here to make knights. Knights can mean he can take down the siege. But Tato has the monks, and Tato is still remaining competitive on water. So normally, Leary could just think, okay, I've won water now. I don't need to think about it. That's not the case. It's still a big issue.
I mean, this is really interesting, right? Because right here, we are seeing the less obvious ways that you're not going to, like, really just immediately gravitate towards this. Like, when you read the patch notes, it's like, okay, you can garrison fishing ships and docks. But, like, this is how you can leverage that change into actually adjusting your early game builds on a tournament map like this.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's shaking up the metagame a little bit, and I think this is a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, I came in here expecting to hate the Hawks, all right? And we are not paid for our opinions. Trust me, if we were, we would not be as negative at times. I'm with you, dude. It's really unique how it's changed the map. We've seen a lot of situations where right now, the guy in Leary's position just simply has won the water and won the game. And now Tato's still remaining competitive on water. He's got some Hulks in the back to potentially snipe Leary's fish. And he's taken down the tower. And Leary is backed into a corner right now.
He is going for some knights of his own, and because he had the better food income, he can do that. He's getting fishing lines, which is, remember guys, they basically split gill nets into 2 upgrades, so fishing lines is now the precursor to gill nets. Leary's going to have some cavalry of his own. They have bloodlines and +1/+1, so their upgrades are actually better than for Tato's, but Tato has these monks here, and monks, that is going to be a huge difference maker.
The monks are the key. Like, the siege is valuable to some degree, but if Tato doesn't get his conversions, he will then be converted by Leary, and Leary will snipe the siege, and Leary will win the fight. The monks are literally the most important thing right now. He's being patient, and I'm sure he's just going to wait. He is also still being harassed on fish by Leary, but again, with the garrisons, with the patrols, he's still remaining competitive, and now we have the fight. Will the conversions happen? It looks like Tato gets his conversions, and Leary's monks need to get the conversions as well. So, sorry, Tato got 1 there. Leary got 0 so far.
I think Leary got 1. And then he got a second one right now. And since he has the better upgrades in the first place, he should be winning this fight. 2 villagers are going to go down there. Knights are kind of derping around under Leary's TC too. And that is actually very good for Leary, who's now at 11 villager kills at this point.
Gotta say, though, Tato does have 3 TCs. He's 3 town centers. The food eco's not amazing. This is where those freaking buffaloes in Dark Age, man. That extra 1,000 food would have changed the game so much. That horse dying underneath the TC is probably killing Tato right now because he simply doesn't have the food economy to justify continuous night production.
Yeah, and that's when, in the last series, I was so like, running, what are you doing making knights? You don't have food income.
Yeah.
And Tato himself is going to switch over into CA, which in this map, in this situation, your food income is awful at this point as both players. So going for the unit that doesn't cost that resource is going to be a huge boost.
What a great series so far. Guys, this has been so close. The previous game ended 36-34 KD with Leary winning. Right now, the KD is 25-25. Try and tell me that these two aren't playing at their absolute best right now. This is so clean.
It sure is. Knights are going to try and dip under the TC. The upgrades are pretty good for Leary, all things considered, and idling Tato's eco is certainly not a bad thing. But T90, Tato, the guy who has been behind in water control, is ahead in resources right now compared to Leary, and that 3 TC is going to really kick in pretty soon.
Yeah, I think Leary might need to consider a siege workshop of his own at some point on that hill. He's got a lot of space there to work with now, but Tato, unfortunately, can't house wall, but he goes for the double gates, which are not, it's not nearly as strong. But he's chasing with the monks. Leary has another group of knights coming in. Again, conversions are so critical here. If Tato didn't have the monks, Leary would be taking a bit more of an aggressive chance with his knights right now.
And the Cav Archers are also a good unit for sniping monks. They're fast, they're hard to kill super quickly by the knights. And yet those monks have not lost their conversion charge. And that is... Oh.
The knights underneath the town center. Leary just killed so many vills. That's what I was reacting to. That was a crazy raid from Leary. Tato didn't notice. And the Cav Archers still do not have Bodkin Arrow, so they are not very strong. Horrible moment for Tato.
Oh, geez. I mean, that's what happens when you have so many different things going on, and there's so many different things to pay attention to. To be fair, the Knights are just literally like whacking themselves into the TC. But yeah, these are not the mistakes Leary makes. This is the difference between Leary and most players in the world, even someone as good as Tato, is that he just will notice a bunch of Knights in his eco like that. Yeah. And right now, everything is just falling apart for Tato.
Yeah, Tato, he really needs Bodkin. But like we said, he hasn't had the food. And with Cav Archers, he always needs that mass. Bodkin Arrow is on the way. But I was getting a little worried for Leary there with the eco situation when it was 3 TCs versus 1. He's got a very healthy one town center economy, has added in some farms, has a lot on gold, and is still adding fishing ships behind this. Still think there's another chance for Tato. It just comes down to maybe a couple conversions, but mainly the Cav Archer mass.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely critical. Now, thankfully for Huns, they are the best civ at actually doing this, so there is a chance. And Leary's going to be starting with a ram here, which I think is kind of interesting because I feel like the Mangonel could put pressure on both the CA and the TCs, especially from the high ground.
Yeah, I guess he just feels like, for now, there's nothing that Tato can do against the ram. He's got a window here where Tato just can't approach. But in the running Lewis set, the Knight player took big fights before getting +2 armor. I think that's an upgrade that Leary's going to have to think about eventually. It just feels so pricey. Every time you're making a unit which is heavy food and gold, and then that upgrade is just, so pricey.
I mean, especially these days, because you're rushing up to Castle Age with fewer villagers than you used to. But back when we saw double staple knights be a very common meta play.
Yeah.
Now it's way more difficult to afford those sorts of upgrades. Ballistics is coming in for Tato, which is huge. He lost the 3 relics, and they're even going to be taken by Leary, so that's going to be a big damper on his eco. And yet he's not dead yet.
Yep.
And he still has Cav Archers, which can absolutely just randomly win you the game.
Tato,
not randomly, but feels like it.
Tato going through the list of things he needs right now. Ballistics is one of them. That's good. The next thing he's going to need is Bloodlines. And then he's going to need good micro here. He's completely lost water now. So finally, it took a lot of time, but finally Leary adding the fishing eco and doesn't need to put any of his attention on water, which is crazy to think that this whole time he's had to worry about that and he's still microed as well as he has.
I mean, it's just crazy how good the multitasking of Leary is, and his eco has been more efficient than Tato's throughout all of this as well, even when Tato's been applying a ton of pressure. That said, Tato is going for a big counterattack here, and the Knights, without that +2 defense, like you're saying, they could start to struggle here, although no husbandry versus husbandry is actually super bad for Tato.
Yeah, Tato, and he's losing his stable, too. The stable just got rammed down, so he has no stable,
Oh,
which means husbandry is no longer an option, and the speed difference is clear. The Cav Archers just cannot keep up, and Tato taps out again. Leary is playing unreal.
Yeah, that is very, very painful for Tato. This was his home map, but once again, just could not quite keep up with Leary. And the multitasking and the fact that everything that Leary was doing was very streamlined. And the fact that Leary went Knights, he still had the fish alive.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely critical. Because if you don't have the fish, then you just can't afford all the Knights and those upgrades. But Leary was able to do so.
Honestly, it was a great game from Tato. I can't help but feel like him running out of food to pump villagers out and being late on upgrades was a big deal here. And I'm just going to restate it because it was a big thing from Dark Age. He had the horse. We've seen games where that horse just collects all of those additional buffaloes. An extra 1,000 food could have been underneath his TC. If he had that, maybe Bloodlines and Husbandry is in. Maybe Bodcanero's in. Maybe he has 2 more knights in the fights. I mean, the tiny things add up. But again, it's like, here's just so tough to break, man. I thought Tato did way more than was ever possible to be competitive on water here. And he got to Castle Age with a forward position. He took down Leary's tower and Archer Mage. He was at the front of Leary's base. It was like he had him near the grave, and then Leary turns it around. So good.
And I think the big thing is that Leary, although he had his resources idled, he had his units killed, he never fundamentally lost really many villagers that game.
Yeah.
He kept his fishing ships alive. He kept his villagers alive very well. And that just enabled it so that Leary eventually could start taking those better fights. And the macro was so good that if you're not actually killing villagers, Leary will get everyone back to work in an efficient way pretty quickly.
Yep. Wow. Incredible. So play all 3. Every win's still super valuable. Of course, for Leary, he's probably big front runner for first place. With how good he plays, yeah, maybe that's predictable. But Tato needs wins here, right? Like, if suddenly Tato gets swept, then Tato is no longer like guarantee for playoffs like everybody would have predicted here. So this win still matters just as much. They'll be in game number 3, and it will be a Portuguese versus Vietnamese on slopes.
I will say where this could actually not matter for Tato is that Leary probably sweeps everybody in the group or comes close to it.
Well,
so
I agree with you, but imagine just one person getting 1 win against Leary. No one's ever gone undefeated in a group, ever.
That's true.
So, like, if Tato gets swept, and then, Rapard's maybe not the guy, but, like, Barles snags 1 win against Leary. That counts as, like, feels like 2 wins over Tato in the race for playoffs. So, no, I agree with you there, but you just never know. And this is the only time that Tato can really control the how many wins he's end up getting here. So he's got Vietnamese for Tato, Portuguese for Leary. None of the new civs in this series. Both players have banned them, and both these civs, very solid and well known.
Yep, these are just, if you want to pick 2 civs that are like top 5 or 6 in every single map and setting, pick these 2 civs. There really is no downside to either of them. You can play any sort of style you want. You can go for an aggressive approach, a bit more passive approach. And it's really just going to come down to how these guys want to approach the game.
Yep. And Tato probably feels like he needs a bit of a lead, right? The laming is high risk, high reward. If you could steal some sheep, steal some boars, you'd love so, but you just don't know where those resources are going to be. He does know where the opponent's town center is, though, being Vietnamese, and so he's looking around. Will he circle a little early?
Oh, no.
Oh, nope, he should see them.
Oh, he saw it.
And he can steal
that
those.
was very close. But yeah, he's going to abscond with a couple of sheep. Now, you do have extra food on this map on either side of the slope, so it's not like the end of the world. He's going to find 1 boar there at the back, going to find another sheep. I don't think he should be able to steal there.
I think taking the boar is maybe too risky if you already have stolen 3 sheep. Like, if you steal the 3 sheep, you just say, alrighty, we're good here. Let's go home and let's play a standard Dark Age and find our own resources. That's, all things considered, worth it for Tato. And I think, honestly, more people need to do this. It really bothers me when people play Vietnamese and they don't try that little run right now, because by the time you get back home, you still can do everything else you need to do in a standard Dark Age.
Now, what I am surprised by is Leary did not respect the lame at all. Like, he brought his scout in the exact opposite direction of the scout of Tato. So if Tato wanted to go for the boar steal, he would have had a completely free time doing so. So, like, as it happens, Tato could have gone for it, but the idea behind why he didn't, I think, is totally fair.
Yeah. And Leary, you have a deer on either side here, slopes. We old versions used to be 3 deer on each side, and then people would just push in their deer and they would never build a mill here, but we have the balance now. I like the pros and cons of decisions in the game, right? So he's got the recovery here with the deer, and he actually went for the early mill. I don't know if you mentioned that. But early mill, you get some wood income from taking the berries with Portuguese. So that will also help him recover the food a little, and he can still get the lumber camp timing.
Yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, remember at NAC 3, you were like, it was like before you were going to implement slopes for the first time, and you were so excited. You wanted to tell us all about how amazing this map was, that it's going to be amazing in all these tournaments. And yeah, I just remember you being like, oh yeah, so you have like this middle valley area, then you have food on a high ground that you can choose to go for, but you don't have to. I just remember like, cool, man. Are
you saying that I was very excited and you were just like kind of just listening just to make me feel better?
No, I'm always interested in AoE. I just your veritable excitement was quite endearing.
Okay, well, I mean,
it's not an act, guys. He's just as hyped off screen.
I mean, I do take a lot of pride in it, to be honest with you. So I take a lot of pride in the maps, and it's just, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Now, the funny thing is, I have 0 map scripting skills. Luckily, we have people in the community that can help. So I don't know if I showed you the paint picture, but I would just draw on paint.
You did, actually.
I did? Okay, perfect. Oh, I wish I still had them, dude. I don't have any of them, but I definitely have had like 6 or 7 drawings on paint. It looked so bad, but yeah, that's all I do, really.
Nah, that's fun. And yes, you also were showing off pants at the same time.
No, it was Bay, but whatever. That's fine.
I know, it's Bay. But, you know, we can't say anything bad about Bay.
Nope.
That would just be inappropriate.
Absolutely. Tato 19 pop, Leary 18 pop, despite losing the sheep. The sheep, it's more about the early feudal age, though. Because without having the sheep and also having gone early to berries, you definitely have less food to work with, which typically means you have to skip horse color on a build this fast. That's way faster than I expected, to be honest.
I mean, people really like getting up to feudal age fast these days. And look at this, Leary, he really suspects he's going to be up to feudal age faster. He is just following Tato Scout. Tato, I think, realizes it and is just going to try and get some extra damage done because Tato is very far away from his town center, and he is slower to feudal age. So Leary going to get the early kill right there.
Wow, so Tato doesn't even try and run. He doesn't even attempt to get to a hill there. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. That was close enough where maybe if you get the downhill hit, you actually have a chance. And there's a lot of hills around. But honestly, I look at his scouting, and he didn't see the ones that I saw right next to him. He didn't see the one next to the relic or the one to the north. So maybe Tato's just happy to trade off the HP. Because if you trade off the HP from the first scout, you can then wall a little bit more, which Tato's going to try and do.
And that is going to be exactly the case. That said, Leary Scout is still only on 9 HP, so this villager can feel safe going over to the sides and starting the wall.
Yep.
The scout is simply too low HP to actually kill her. Both players are opening scouts, so nothing too crazy there. Tato, though, leveraging the Vietnamese bonus and getting that early horse collar upgrade, which is super nice.
Yeah, Tato, I think, will want low risk here. He knows Leary will come aggressive. I think if the Vietnamese can survive the early pressure here, they should be the preferred civilization, just slightly. A lot depends on the transitions. Leary will use the food on the side, which of course makes me very happy. And it's all because he's got the map control and Tato doesn't see it.
Oh, Scout's going to try and dart in and go after the villager, but are unsuccessful. Note, though, that when you opt for this early mill approach that we mentioned earlier as Leary, it means that you are going to go through your berries faster. So Leary's going to be in an uncomfortable situation right now where his sheep are going to run out and his forage bushes are going to run out. And that's why those side resources are so critical, because he just doesn't have the resources to go for farms yet.
It's just insane how quick this is all developing. It's so fast, right? Like, Tato will lose a villager just like that. And it's just... Imagine being Tato right now. You've lost the first 2 games. You probably feel like you played really well. A player will have a good gauge on if they're underperforming or not. So he probably feels like he's near his best. But Leary starts off game 3. High confidence from him. And behind it, the famous Leary Archer switch with the archer range.
Going scouts plus archers here as Leary. And look at this, D90. He's already ahead by 300 resources.
Yeah.
This is like a superpower that only Leary and Hera have.
Yep.
And I will never fully understand it, but it is honestly, I think, an underrated aspect of how they win so many of their games.
Yep. Well, I mean, I remember a quote. This is a couple years ago. Because you used to think like, micro wins games or macro wins games, right? You pick one or the other. But I remember... I think it was Daniel, and Daniel's always a great player to quote because he's got some good sound bites, and he was just like, the micro wins their games because it sets up their macro, right? It's like if your unit control is so good, you force so many reactions, they have to spend a larger percentage of their time trying to deal with not dying, and then their eco becomes just an absolute mess. So yeah, it's just the perfect combination. I agree. Both players are kind of the standard of that right now, and of course, I think the only player that can really stop Leary is probably Hera. So,
yeah. I mean, the safe money from when the tournament started was a Leary versus Hera finals. I mean, that was definitely sort of the go-to. Now, obviously, we still have a lot of tournament to play out so far, but I would say that, generally speaking, the results have been as expected thus far.
Yeah. Well, Hera's undefeated. He will play his third round this week. And Leary right now undefeated in the third round. 8-0 so far in TTL. And the Archer follow-up is hit at the perfect time. Tato was clearly unprepared for this. He had just stabilized into his own scouts. I do think, though, that if Tato can tower there and check the sides right now, if he can use those scouts to actually go forward, Leary has taken some risks there, and he doesn't have protection there. So that would be a way for Tato to come back. He's market walling. He'll stone wall. He's Vietnamese, so faster researching wheelbarrow, good units. There's lots of positives to come. He just needs to find the villagers, and there they are. No spearmen in sight. Well,
it's coming, though.
It's coming, yeah.
Yeah. It's a coming. And that, I think, is just such a huge difference. Leary is already 800 resources ahead, guys, which percentage-wise is absolutely huge at this stage of the game. Spearman will go down before it can get that last poke in, so Leary will lose all of these villagers. This is exactly the sort of lucky break that Tato needed.
And that's, well, this is the risk, right? When you're so used to your opponent reacting to you, and they can find a way to play defense against it once, the defense into counterattack can be critical. And now, Tato's almost fully waltzed. The army from Leary can't do any major damage to deny resources. I think Leary might run past the TC, so he needs to be careful. But yeah, well played from Tato.
Still has to defend here at home. Tato actually has several villagers on stone at this point, so it could be looking to go for another tower. There's the market coming in. My concern, though, for Tato is just Leary's been able to get the farms down. It was a really tough opportunity when the sheep ran out and the forage bushes ran out, but Leary did such a good job getting the side food that the fact that he had to delay his farms wasn't a big deal. He still got those farms down, and I feel like those kills might have come a little too late.
Tato is fully building a second market right now. Like, he already has the first market. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. You look at Tato, he's just finished berries. He's adapt. That's obviously 175 wood he doesn't have to build farms. And even though Leary loses vills, Leary's balance on that one town center, the farm timing and everything is still so nice for Castle Age, yeah. But if Tato uses one of his markets, or I don't know, both, why not? Just to balance out the res a little bit. In theory, he should have more workers long term, but the eco is not looking very good.
It's all the eco efficiency. Leary's going to click up to Castle Age, and Tato isn't going to even have 100 food or gold. It's going to be a complete disaster.
81% throughout the game for Leary, 73% for Tato. 7% worker efficiency. That's beyond the Roman bonus, which we feel is insanely strong, right? So
yeah,
that's probably why he doesn't draft Romans, because Leary's like, I can play with 5% less worker efficiency as a civ bonus and just beat you with my own skill.
Yeah, I mean, obviously crazy performance right now here from Leary. Spearman does get a couple of scout kills, but as it so often is the case when casting Leary and Hera, I get to say it just doesn't matter.
Yep.
You get these small wins here and there because you're so far behind in economy that nothing you really do is going to make enough of a difference to overcome the fact that you're behind so much.
You do need to have an advantage getting to Castle Age, right? When you go up fast, you do need to have an army. So half the army just got cleared. Tato's resources are looking better. You think about Tato's gold, that's protected with a tower. His wood is rangeable on the outside, and Leary might go that direction. But Leary does need to be careful. The scouts will also come to his base. So he does need protection there. If one wrong step, like you put me or you into this scenario, right? You lose a couple archers, you don't do enough in early Castle Age, and then you have worse economy. So this could This still has to be up to Leary's standards of perfection. But Tato's so late to castle. So late. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's rough. Also, it's very kind of you to put me in the same conversation as you, as if you're not like 400 elo higher than me. But you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Hey,
not Chad, who's actually being nicer than he should have been right there.
You had me sweating on that one random Baltic game we played because I was like, I know how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Because at first I'm like, it's Ornlu. And then I'm like, wait a second. Did he sneak? Wait a second. I've got an army here. And then I was like, I can't lose to Ornlu. He's never going to stop bringing it up. So no offense, of course. You're a really solid player.
No,
but...
I mean, I would earn it in that point. And I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yep, that's how it goes. Well, Siege Workshop from Leary on the area where Tato has his gold. And Tato finds the crossbowman there, loses the villager. Leary, Bowsaw upgrade right away, has horse collar for all the farms, second town center, all the advantages you want from the early Castle Age. Expand the eco and pressure with military. Again, just so clean. Just so good.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. There's another tower coming in, but now you're from behind and doing the literal worst possible thing to win an AoE game, which is going skirmishers when you're behind in economy.
Well, going skirmishers when your opponent has siege as well. Like, he goes skirms, and then the siege arrives. It's the only thing that could maybe be worse than that is if your opponent had a lot of knights. But Leary, he's playing it like his home map. The game 1 was the neutral map. Game 2 was Tato's home map. This is still Leary's map in the play all 3. The tower will go up, and he'll say, yeah, not bothered about that, Tato. I know you probably don't have enough back there. And 3 solid games from Leary. I mean, he played good the first 2 rounds, but he played great today. That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Tato. I mean, Leary beats almost every player in the world just as handily there.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tato still played pretty well. It's tough, man.
Actually, I misspoke, by the way. I said that Leary played good the first 2 games, and then he played great the final one. I actually meant the sets. He played great every single game today. I think Tato,
I knew what you meant.
there's definitely got to be a point in there in game number 1 and game number 2 when you're being so competitive on water, when the KD's even, that you end the game, the KD's even, and Leary's in Castle Age 3 minutes faster than you in game number 1. Game number 2, like, you're on 3 TCs. How many times did he have to work in and out of his docks and sneak hawks? Like, and it still didn't break Leary. Like, damn, dude, Leary, he's undefeated. He's 9-0 so far this season. So Leary is absolutely loving the whole $30 per win. He's raking in the cash with that, but he's got his eyes set on first place in the group, obviously. But we have never had someone go undefeated. Remember that.
Yeah, and Leary will probably sweep Repard unless something absolutely silly happens, which I would be there for. But yeah, unless Barles can get a win there, it's going to be tough for anyone to stop Leary in this group.
Yeah. Well, Repard is like Licks, 0-6. They're promoted players who Repard at least had the best run of his career to even get to Plat. Has not been good. So yeah, I would expect Leary does sweep him there. And then, yeah, Leary Barles, I think Leary's going to be the favorite, of course. But, yeah, maybe Barles is going to be the one to slow him down a little. But for Barles and Repard, you snag one win against Leary when everyone else is getting swept. Could be really nice as long as you string some other results together.
Yeah, and indeed. And Barles still has to go through MBL. And then he has Licks first. So
yeah,
he still has 2 of the stronger players in the group left. So that's still going to be an important one. And MBL Barles actually could be like determining who gets 3rd and 4th. And obviously there's a huge difference there between being able to move on to the playoffs and just kind of sitting in platinum.
I feel like it's not that like surprising to people right now, but according to the odds, 90% chance for Leary to be first in the group. For Tato, very little chance he gets first after that result. But that's the same with everybody right now. So I think the big combo there is with 2nd and 3rd place going playoffs, who is going to be left out between Barles, Tato, and MBL? And I think it would likely come down to the sets where those players play each other, in theory. If it's the same result against Leary, if they all get swept by Leary, if everybody 3-0s like Licks and Rapard, then it's just how do they perform when they play the other two? And yeah, I mean, we'll see.
All right, this is what's going to happen, T90. Leary sweeps everybody, and then Tato, Barles, and MBL all sweep Licks and Repard. And then they go 2-1 in a circle against each other. And then we go down to every single possible tiebreaker.
I was going to say, well, did you see what ended up happening in the one group at the top with in Silver League?
Yes.
Silver League, we had 10, 10, and 10 at the top three. And so it was triple tiebreak. It was Cosmonaut getting first place in the group because he had more set wins, which is the first tiebreak. And then Husiel was over Gabby because they had the same amount of set wins. Second tiebreak was their head-to-head series. So maybe it's something like that, but it's for second through fourth place. Yeah, that's likely.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a huge difference there. I mean, at least in the Silver League, everyone's going to the playoffs. Or, I mean, Cosmonaut's going right up to Gold League. But
yeah,
it's not like that big of a deal because everyone's still like competitive. But like this could be someone just gets eliminated off of tiebreakers, which I mean, that's just how it is.
I can't help just knowing Licks and knowing how he can just have a really chaotic style and really improve and just you never know what you're going to get from him. I feel like he's going to have Licks and Rapard are definitely going to get a win or two here, and it's going to really mess with either Barles, Tato, or MBL. That's my theory. Like whether it's Tato, Rapard the last rounds, Rapard's already going down. He wants to ruin Tato's chances of playoffs. MBL Licks last round, like something's going to happen there, I think. But yeah, likely Licks and Rapard go down. So
yeah, makes sense.
All right, cool. Well, Ornlu, thanks again for joining, man. Great cast. I will reach out again for more casting.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Always fun, man. Glad I can help out.
Alrighty, dude. We'll take care. Thank you.
See you later.
All right, salutes in chat for Ornlu, please. Mods, if we could do a shout out for him. He's a good guy. Especially good to bring him in here with the new DLC and the new civs. The schedule for TTL has been public for some time. We have let you guys know kind of what's coming. I've been saying 3 sets a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That has been the goal. Unfortunately, we do not have a third set for you guys today. We have had an absolute nightmare trying to get sets scheduled. We've been trying our absolute best. I will leave it at that, but that is actually the last series today. The schedule for tomorrow is there, though. We will have 3 sets tomorrow. It'll be ACCM against Freakin' Andy in Group C, MBL versus Barles, Group A, and then SizCon versus Lucho in Group B. We then have the schedule posted for Sunday as well. So we should be able to get back to the 3 sets on Sunday. The 3 sets on Sunday are going to be Dark versus Sato, Vivi versus Mihai, and then Nika versus Sebastian. We are working to get the other ones scheduled. We'll post them. They will likely be Monday. If I have to do 2 different streams, I will do it on Monday. We're still figuring that out. We're trying our best. It is very stressful. All right. Chat, I will hang around, answer some questions, and say hello, because we have a lot of people here. But the previous 3 days were all 8 hours for me, covering all the Silver League stuff, and I'm just getting over being sick. So actually, I'm not going to do anything else today, if that's cool. I have to catch up on a couple YouTube videos, which I haven't been able to record. The new Unk episode needs to go up soon, all right? And yeah, a little bit of an afternoon being free isn't horrible for me, so. Miyako says, don't stress, relax, it'll all work itself out. If only it was that easy. That's like me casting players in a high-stress series saying, so-and-so just needs to relax right now. It's a little different, but yeah, I'm sure we'll get it sorted. I've got a good team. The players understand the sets need to come in, and we'll try our best. There's always hurdles, though, behind the scenes. There's always stress. So, what's up, Top Gun? Yeah, JBR, enjoy the rest, dude. Thank you, YouTube. Someone suggests I drink whiskey for my cold. I'm feeling better now. Does that mean I can't drink whiskey? Is that doctor recommended? Are you a doctor? I don't know about that one, but thank you for the tip. We'll see. Maybe it'll happen. Do you think the new civs will be good in the community event? Freaking R-Base, man. Trying to set me up to let people know about the community event. I need to let people know about the community event. Chat, if you want to play Titans League settings with your ELO bracket, whatever that may be, think about joining the community event. But I'm not going to go super crazy with promoting that yet because we still have over a month. But the information's pinned. We have a Discord. Last time we had 330 people play. I would love to get I'd love to beat that. So yeah, 500 elo group. That might be the mud league or something. I don't know the group names. We might actually need Twitch chat to help, or YouTube chat. Sorry, YouTube. We might need you guys to help come up with group names. So yeah, I'm going to have that below the stream attached to an image, and I'll promote that a ton more right before it happens. But yeah, if you want to sign up now, technically you can. So yeah, that wouldn't work for Xbox. You wouldn't be able to play on Xbox because it uses custom maps, but if you could somehow get onto PC, you should be able to play. So Swamp League, Trouser League, Poop League. Poop is a little much. Swamp, maybe. Trouser, eh. Tin we had last time. I think we might have had Sands. I don't remember. Maybe, do we still have the scheduling groups for this? I feel like I'm always speculating. Do we have the old groups listed? Okay, I could list off what we had for the last one. Last time we did units, which we won't do this time, but we had like Militia, Crossbow, Knight, Mangonels, Monks, Champions. That was for a non-Titans League one, though. Since we have Platinum, Gold, Silver, Bronze, I think last time it was like Obsidian, and then it just like kind of worked its way down from there. So thank you, Jay Crouch, for the 5 months. Yeah, if you want to support TTL, man, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Subbing on Twitch and YouTube goes a really long way. I'm going to be live basically every day trying to give you guys content. I'm not wearing it now. I could show you the mug if you're interested, but thank you to everyone who's purchased merch items. I did have multiple people reach out and say at least people from the US got their merch items within a couple days, which is a really fast turnaround. We do have that stuff there. A little bit goes towards me. But yeah, all that stuff's on the TTL site, which is all the stats and probabilities. So check it out if you're interested, of course. Don't want to be overly promoty on it, but at the end of the day, this is a lot of work. So the support's awesome. Ace is faster than Amazon. Let's go. We're beating Amazon. Only thing we can't offer, though, is subscribing for free with Amazon Prime. So I think Amazon's probably got us beat. So, all right. Doesn't seem like there's too many questions, chat, which is fine. But going once, going twice. I will head off. I might experiment a little bit with the new civs. I'd like to have some YouTube videos on them. It's been tough with TTL, so we'll probably get those up soon. Do you think Lewis can make top 4? I think so, yeah. I think so. He's playing really good. He's playing really good. The results, I mean, the odds are in his favor to be in the top 4 for sure. Do you mean top 4 in the group? Or do you mean top 4 in the whole thing? top 4 in the group and top 4 in the whole thing is a different combo. I was thinking top 4 in the group. As far as top 4 in the whole event, I mean, it really comes down to matchups. I think he can give himself a shot in most sets if he goes playoffs. So I think the chances are there. I don't look at it as like he can't make most of the sets competitive. So yeah, I think he could. I could see it. I mean, people are just going to really want to avoid playing like Hera, Leary. I'm still curious of what level Vinchester's going to bring. Like, I think Vinchester's going to get a lot better. I think Viper's going to get a lot better. It really just comes down to playoff brackets, man. And that's why if you can win, if you get first in your group, you're just separated from all those other big names. Like, first in the group gives you amazing chances. So, I mean, Lewis could maybe snag first in his group. He's going to need a little bit of help, but I think maybe that's a goal for him. So, can you tell the devs to put more mods on console, please? I could tell the devs things. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it. I'm sure that if they could implement more mod support, they maybe would have. I could pass something along. I will say someone named I Got a Bad Bite really wants more mods on console. Can you do it, please? Smiley face. But yeah, it is a bummer for console players. They can't, like, if we do community games, for example, they can't play because they can't handle custom maps and some of the mods we do. So Prince wants memes. Prince, you have been going crazy. I will absolutely pull up memes for you. No question. Let's look at the memes and then we'll end the stream. Memes for the day. Thank you again, Prince. We have 2 memes. A grand total of 2 memes. And they're not necessarily related to the sets today, but that's fine. This is a chat filter meme. Is bleep still a bad word if no one hears it? What? What? I love how I will see posts from people. They'll like report people. And still, to this day, the chat filter does not work. And all the awful things that they say will be allowed. And then this past week, I have seen GG get muted multiple times. I complained about it behind the scenes for years. It's stupid. I made a video on it. I don't know what more to do. Hopefully they fix the stupid filter. It's ridiculous. And then this, oh God, Bay, Twitch chat pants, Captain America Civil War. Yeah. Guys, it's called Bay. You know how much effort I put into that? Actually, I just drew it on paint and gave input once we got the maps. But do you know how much effort I kind of put into that and then my scripters put into that? Come on. Disrespect. It's all good. Listen, I will tell you, I will accept. You can call it pants. I kind of get that one. I can see it. But calling evacuation assless chaps is completely unfair, okay? One guy said it, I made the mistake to read the message, and now everyone acts like that's what it looks like. Come on. It's one of the sickest maps ever, and you're really going to do it like that? You guys are better than that. Anyways, now that I've said the words assless chaps, that's it for the day for me. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Three sets tomorrow, and the time's on screen. Thank you for the love with TTL. And we can talk more about assless chaps tomorrow. See ya.
Just got to find my base. You will find him trapped behind a woodland waiting for his fate. You are one step behind. Try to pre-ward all your berries while you miss my sneak militia. Making woodland gives you worries. I am one step ahead. Always one step ahead. You are one step behind. Always just one step behind. I am one step ahead. You don't think I'm going, I just got my reach behind your business. I'm eager to departure. You are one step behind. Try to buy you with your castle and you see the price of stone and now you'll never be up faster. I am one step ahead. Always one step ahead. You are one step behind. Always just one step behind. I am one step ahead. You can go produce your nights. When you step into the fog of war, my pikes are there to fight. You are one step behind. Send your voice to forward castle. My mango will be waiting, making sure it's a disaster. I am one step ahead. Always one step ahead. You are one step behind. Always just one step behind. I am one step ahead. Send your raiding army over. Have them running into castles, trying to keep your composure. You are one step behind. Out of gold, out of ideas. While I'm feasting on my relics, there's one thing I guarantee ya. I am one step ahead. Always one step ahead. You are one step behind. Always just one step behind. I am one step ahead. Always one step ahead. You are one step behind. Always just one step behind.
Why are you still here? The stream's over. Go watch the YouTube video I uploaded. Why are you here? It's over. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow. Don't make me feel bad. There's so many people. Leave. Leave. We're done. We're done for the day. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't make me feel bad. Leave. Leave. Come back tomorrow. Same time. Leron just logged in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Leave. Leave. I plead with you. Leave. I'm done. Thank you.